We live for mine. Alright. Kevin, we good. We live.
Open this up. All right. Shalom, shalom. We are the Hebrew Israelites. We come week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of this wicked and sinful kingdom. All right. Babylon, spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt, Rome 2.0, and Nineveh. But without further ado, we'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to our Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashur, Kakodash, and the double honors to our beloved apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us the 100% truth according to doctrine, the true leaders of the nation of Israel, and peace, love, and salutations to the elect.
All right. And now we're going to open up with Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not unto thine own understanding.
Right. It says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, right, and lean not to thy own understanding. So trust in the Lord, who the word Hebrew calls God and Jesus Christ, whose name is Yahweh, which means he exists, Bahashem in the name Yahweh Shah, which means he saves, he delivers. It says, trust in the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah, but it says, and
lean not unto thine own understanding.
Right. It says, and lean not into thy own understanding. Yeah, because it does say trust in the Lord with all thine heart, right? And that word heart goes into the Hebrew word lav, meaning your mind. It says what? And lean not into thy own understanding. And why is that? If inquiring minds want to know, Jeremiah 17:9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Why? Because your heart, aka your mind, it appeals into this corruptible flesh, which means it's after the pleasures of this world. All right. Because what's the whole situation with Jake? You know, Jake is after what? Jake covers what? Money, cars, clothes, homes, you know? And those are the things of the flesh, the carnal things, you know? Which we know that the flesh wars after the spirit, but you know, this is how we stay in the fight, all right? By applying the things that are written within the scriptures. That's why we can show you reading the song.
Right. And also when you get into the other translations, it says, trust in the Lord with all thy mind and lean not on what you think you may know. You know? And this is Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths.
Right, in all thy ways acknowledge him, because the power that we serve, all right, you know, he has power over all existence, man. You know, because what in the scriptures say that he doeth whithersoever he will, all right. And what else? You know, the power of life and death is in his hands. All right. So we should always acknowledge the Lord in everything that we do. You know, we should always give him reverence and respect. We should always pray before we make any decisions, man. All right. And we have to follow the blueprint because the Lord set up a standard. All right. Which are these instructions according to the Bible, the whole volume of the book, and that's why we rehearse the righteous acts. All right, which is what everybody go into when they say keeping the commandments. But first and foremost, it starts with fearing the Lord, because we're not going to be able to keep these commandments perfectly during our captivity. All right, and we're not going to be saved by keeping the commandments. We're going to be saved by grace through faith and our power. Yahweh Shem Yahweh.
That's right. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil.
Right. Be not wise in our own eyes. You know, that's going into back that goes back into, you know, us being self-willed, all right? Going with opinions instead of reasoning with the words of the Lord, you know? Because this is our guidance, this is our counsel, you know. These scriptures, you know what I'm saying, are our counsel, you know. That's what we follow. Yep, yeah, you have something like that.
It's Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 12. Proverbs 14, verse 12, it says, there is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. And there's a quote by Mark Twain. He said, it's not what you don't know that gets you in trouble, it's what you think you know. You know, I'm going to paraphrase it. especially when it concerns the Bible, most people have, in their own mind the idea of God, but how he is and how he's supposed to act, how he's supposed to treat you, how you're supposed to treat him, what he embodies, right? When you go into the so-called Christian church, what idea do you get of the Most High when you go in there, man? Especially going to the Messiah. First off, they give you the wrong name and give you the wrong look, man. Image is everything, man. Image is tied to a reputation. Same with a name. So you calling on the wrong name and you're giving a wrong reputation of the Most High and his own begotten Son. Well, that's where you're messing up at, man. And again, going to you thinking that you're going in the right way. You're serving God how you are supposed to think. So you serve God, man. It's all about prosperity. Being self-good, about feel good. Come as you are. You don't got to clean yourself up. You do what you do. Have it any way you want to. No, you can't, man. Because you're going to the ancient way, how we're supposed to serve the Lord, especially concerning the high priest. How you go to worship the Lord, you got to clean yourself, man. You don't just walk in the temple with dirty ass feet. Right. You're supposed to change your clothes. You're supposed to wash yourself. You got to wear a certain attire. You got to clean your feet. You know what I'm saying?
And even from what you do from the day before.
Yeah, exactly. You got to be stained for something.
You gotta not have sex. You gotta not touch certain things. Like the brother said, you gotta bathe yourself, wash your feet, bathe yourself, have certain raiment. You gotta abstain from certain things. You can't have sex. You can't have sex like a day before. Like it's rules to it.
No, you good. Here's that quote though. I didn't want to misquote it. It's a quote from Mark Twain. It says, "It ain't what you don't know that gets you in trouble. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so." Going to opinions. Going to your opinion. How's that goes to a pocket book? Vain opinion. Again, you have an opinion according to your thoughts of how God is and how the earth is supposed to be. Got it? Get it.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 3, and verse 24. For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion have overthrown their judgment.
So again, vain opinion, meaning it has no weight to it. Again, concerning the ways of Yahweh Shai, you guys out here ain't studying, man. You don't go into the scriptures through the spirit as we do. As the apostle always say, y'all had to step y'all game up because of what we were doing on the highways and byways, man. Week in and week out. This is what we do, man. We live out the words of Yahweh Shai. We take you through the instructions. That's our profession. And you know where it comes from? It comes from fear. Y'all do it for envy and strife because y'all niggas want to be right. So make yourself look like somebody. We do it because we fear Yahweh Shai, man. And that's the whole basis of why we serve him. We fear and tremble because we know his ways, man. And what he's going to do to earth for those that have been playing around, man.
Yep, and going back to their vain opinions, 2/3 don't got nothing but opinions. They'll get on the internet all day and speak how they feel. They don't even come with facts. They come with how they feel. They come with their opinions. You see, we don't go based off of our feelings or our opinions. We go based off what's written. We go into the scriptures. We're not gonna sit here and argue with you with our own thoughts and our own opinions and our own feelings. We go to the scriptures and hit you with the script because that's what you're supposed to go by. You're not supposed to go by your empty opinions and your empty feelings and emotions. And that's what a lot of 2/3 Jakes is doing, especially these women and even men, and there's even some men in other Israelite camps that be going based on opinion and feelings and emotions. But this is the precept right quick.
You have some?
You got it.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 8, and verse 20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
Yep. Go ahead. Go into it again.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 8, and verse 20, and it reads, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
Right. It's because there's no light in them. Was that light is in reference of wisdom, man. And also that light is in representation of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai, which means Yahweh Shai is not dwelling with you, if you're not speaking according to these prophecies. Yep.
You know, according to these prophecies, according to these scriptures, according to the words of the Heavenly Father and His Son, which is the book of life. And these people not speaking according to that. They like we going into, they speaking into vain opinions and emotions and feelings instead of the scriptures and the words of this prophecy. Because they have no light in them. This is Job chapter 28, verse 28. And unto man he said, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding.
Right. It said the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom. All right. But if you speaking on wisdom, you know, it first starts with the fear. That's the foundation. All right. The root of wisdom is to fear the Lord. All right. Which that word fear goes into to reverence. All right. And you know, to have like a deep level of respect. Okay. And also it goes into being obedient.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that comes with submission.
That's right.
Yep. Read it one time.
We'll read it again. Job chapter 28, verse 28. And unto man he said, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom.
Right, and where's wisdom found? All right, wisdom is found out here on the highways and hedges, man. As it says, what the scripture goes into, wisdom cried out in the streets. All right, and that first starts with our apostles and elders of great millstone. Right, it starts with you receive wisdom from the prophets. Okay, out here in the Korah, all right, which is out here, you know, in these marketplaces. We out here telling our people, all right, the judgments of the Lord.
That's right. And to depart from evil is understanding.
To depart from evil, which evil is disobedience, man. AKA sin. And what is sin? Sin is the transgression of the law. You know, as I spoke on earlier, you know, that we're not going to be able to keep the laws perfectly, but you're supposed to be rehearsing the righteous act. The law is like a schoolmaster, you know. The law is to pretty much to govern you, to pretty much to lead you in the right direction into building that solid relationship with our power, Yahweh Shem Shah. No, right. Speaking to it, because when the scripture begins, it says, and unto man, this is speaking on the Israelite man, okay? Because these words are for the Israelite man, which are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans according to the seed line of his father. Now, you got my
yep. That's right. And back to Proverbs chapter 3, verse, you go start at verse 7. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil.
Right, fear the Lord and depart from evil. You know what I'm saying? Once again, you know, that means to abstain from all appearances of evil, man. Right. All the things that are not pleasing to our power, you know, because the Lord's wrath is kindled against our people, you know. Because what due to their wicked ways and their influences and the things that they have been doing upon the earth, you know, because there's a certain way that we're supposed to conduct ourselves. And when you come back and see these scriptures, it shows you the do's and don'ts, because we don't supposed to eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, shellfish, catfish. You know, when you eat fish, you're supposed to eat fish that have fins and scales. You don't supposed to mar your beard. You don't supposed to have a bald head. You don't supposed to get tattoos. You don't supposed to be smoking. The women of our nation don't supposed to be harlots. You know what I'm saying? Men don't supposed to lie with men. Women don't supposed to lie with women, you know, which goes into that sodomy, you know. Isn't that the same reason that the Lord brought fire and brimstone? And what the future prophecy, the Lord gonna melt our people along with these heathens, man. Which is via thermonuclear destruction, man. You know that fire is coming, man.
Right. You know, because these law, statutes, and commandments in the words of this book preserves us. You know. And like the scripture go get into it, it prolongs our life. It preserves us. It saves us from certain situations. Not robbing and stealing saves you from being robbed and stole from and being killed. Not dealing with another man's wife preserves you and saves you from that man committing violence on you from jealousy. You know, the law, statutes, and commandments preserve you. Not eating certain things preserves you from having health issues. You know, not committing certain acts of wickedness saves your life. Because if we didn't if we didn't rehearse the righteous acts, a lot of us would be dead or in prison. And that's just the truth. These words in the law, statutes, and commandments saved a lot of brothers from being in prison or being put in the grave, and early too. Because you got Jakes being deleted and unalive at a shit. The rate so high, it's a young Jake right now being put to death somewhere right now. Due to gang banging, drugs, accidentally deleting themselves from taking a drug that might be laced with fentanyl. You know, like it's a lot of that going on. You know, like Jake don't even be trying to kill themselves, but you know the fact that they committing sin and the wages of sin is death. If they wanted to follow themselves with these drugs, they wouldn't be accidentally unaliving themselves.
Yeah, after that.
Yeah. All right. Verse 8. It shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones. Honor the Lord with thy substance and with the first fruits of all thine increase. All right, but it says it shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones. It should be health. These words should be health to you. It'd be life. It'd be life. Energy. All right, you got it. I got a precept.
This 2nd Edis chapter 7. I'll read 20 and 21. So 2nd Edis 7 verse 20. It says, "For there be many that perish in his life, because they despise the law of the Most High that is set before them." So what does it mean to despise? Meaning to look down upon. You know, to say those that hate me love death. You know, so you depart from the ways of the Lord, you ask him to die, man. That's simply as it is, man. These things again that you put in your body, you consume physically, spiritually, you're killing yourself, man. You know, and this is what Jake loves, man. This is where black culture comes from. Latino culture is all about death, man. You know, Issachar got literally a day called the Day of the Dead, man. Where they worship the dead. You know, this is what our people take on. So this is why they suffer the stuff they suffer, because they don't take heed to the words of Yahweh Shai.
Yeah, they seeking death. You got it, bro.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 32. He that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul, but he that heareth reproof getteth understanding.
So now hearing instructions going to that self-hate. You know, our people, they do stuff in the sense of self-hate, you know, hatred for themselves, you know, and that reverberates externally, man, how they treat themselves, you know, because if you understood that you're a vessel of Yahweh Shai, man, you know, you are a temple of the Lord, you understand yourself. You know, you being an ambassador, your body is not your own. You've been bought with a price. You wouldn't act how you act around the earth, man. You know, but even if you tell Jake, you know, because they're hard-headed, they rather what? They want to wickedness, man. If you listen to somebody, you know, you get instructions from somebody how to roll a blunt. You know what I'm saying? Well, you get instructions, you get that from a nigga on how to roll a blunt, man. How to rob, steal, kill. You know, you learn that from who? Esau, man. You know?
These niggas will take instruction from Lil Durk, or NBA Youngboy, or who else some niggas these niggas love nowadays, man. You know these
King Von.
Yeah, King Von, Lil who?
Lil Jeff.
Yeah, Lil Jeff. You know, and guess what? A lot of them YNs, a lot of them people that people's looking up to and bumping so hard, they either dead or in jail. And they all perish at a young age as well, in the prime years of their life.
Right. That's a curse.
That's a curse.
You die before your time, man. That's a curse, man.
Long before your time. You died in your 20s. You really ain't even began. You just started. You know, really living life. You know.
Oh, okay. It's 2nd Edis chapter 7, verse 21. For the Most High hath given straight commandment to such as come, what they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. So straight commandment meaning it ain't no debating. You know what I'm saying? We can negotiate. No, man. The straight command means this is what you're gonna do. You do it or you don't. You know, and how you should live your life according to the word of Yahweh Shai, so that you can avoid punishment. You know, but that's why you read Deuteronomy 20th chapter, verse 15 on down. That's the punishment, man. You know, and that's what Jake lived every day, day in, day out. You know, as a sign and a curse and a reproach for you to turn back to your power, man. But Jake said we're gonna keep going deeper. You know, how much more wicked can you get, man? Jake is going deeper and deeper into wickedness, man. And so that's why the Lord will send nukes, man.
Yeah. And shit, all these ambulances and stuff possibly going to a Jake that hasn't followed instruction, that didn't regard the words of the Lord. This is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 13. Take fast hold of instruction. Let her not go. Keep her, for she is thy life. Take fast hold of instruction. Let her not go. Keep her. Harley's he was talking about. Yeah. Take fast hold of instruction. Let her not go. Keep her, for she is thy light. All right, and what's the instruction? The instruction is the words of the Heavenly Father and His Son. The instruction is the words of this book. The instruction is the words of prophecy. And it says, let her not go. Keep her, for she is thy life. And that's why the scripture says, hold on, let no man take thy crown. Hold fast, which thou hast. You're supposed to hold on to it tight. Hold on to this knowledge tight. Hold on to your faith and hope tight. Because it's a gift. And everybody don't have the gift of faith. Everybody don't have the gift of hope. Everybody don't have the gift of being able to receive this truth. Everybody don't have the gift of having eyes to see and ears to hear. It's a lot going on in this world. It's a lot. Back to back. If you watching, it's a lot. Like it's like how could it's so crazy in these days. It's like how can you not see what's happening? It's like how? It's like it's literally right there. We watching the words of this book come to life right before our eyes. Literally. Like it's not even like the things we speaking are not even far-fetched. Like I could understand maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, some people might not being able to see it or understand it, but now it's like, bruh, it's like this shit is right in your face. It's on your social media, it's on the news, it's in your face when you're walking down the street, you know. But we supposed to hold fast of instruction and not let this word go, because these words is what's gonna preserve us and make us endure until the end, so we can be saved. But I got a piece of for you right here. This is Psalms chapter 118, verse 8. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man.
As the scriptures say that the help of man is vain, you know, which is unprofitable. You can read down verse. You can read verse 9 here.
Verse 8. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in princes.
All right, it's better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence, aka faith, in princes, man. And who are the princes, man? Your presidents, your governors, your senators. All right, your prime ministers. You know, these elite banking families. All right, which is the chief tribe of Edom, which is these kites, these 1948ers. You know,
that's right.
Amalek. It's better to trust in the Lord, because what man is nothing but earth and ashes. You know, as the scripture that we always bring out in Ecclesiastes, you know, man knoweth not his time. All right, because you know, what's that in the book of Psalms? You know, the issue of life and death along with our power. You have about you know, so who are you to put your faith in? You know,
That's right. This is Isaiah chapter 30. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me,
Right. It says woe. It says woe to the rebellious children. That's 2/3 of the nation of Israel. All right. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. It says woe to the woe to the rebellious children. Right.
Yep. Woe to the
Shall you read it? You read it one more time?
Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin.
Right. They take counsel, but not of my spirit. And that word counsel goes back into instruction. All right. Advice. It goes into admonishment. You know, pretty much. You know, because what during this time, what our people, you know, they had came up with plans, okay, to link up with the heathens, all right. But then I want to say during the history goes back to Judah, you know. Judah was trying to link up with the Egyptians, all right.
Yep. And even now, you know, Judah trying to link up with Esau, Edom, you know, and these other nations. It won't work because it's not of the Lord. Verse 2, that walk to go down into Egypt.
Right.
Right, you got it.
Yeah, it says the walk to go down into Egypt, and what Egypt was what south. It was just south of Israel. You know, it wasn't a long distance. All right, from the land masses of Israel. Okay. Yeah, it says walk to go down to Egypt because we still in spiritual Egypt today, pursuing the book of Revelations, the 11th chapter. You know, in the book of Revelation, the 11th chapter says what? It says the dead bodies, all right, that lie in the streets of spiritual Sodom and Egypt. But this is spiritual Sodom and Egypt because Egypt goes into bondage, all right? It goes into to devil's straits.
Right. To strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
Right. Yep. It said what? To strengthen themselves?
To strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
Right. Strengthen themselves in Pharaoh, you know. Once again, that goes into them, you know, trying to make an alliance, all right, with these heathens, you know. With the Egyptians, not understanding that, you know, the Lord had set up those Assyrians to be that whipping stick, you know.
And even now, you know, with the when Biden opened the borders, that was a lot of South America, Central America, Mexico, and even people from Africa. It was a lot of Israelites coming here to seek strength and help from Egypt, from America, to put themselves in the shadow of Biden, because Biden had the borders open. So people was coming here trying to build a new life and thinking of America, Mystery Babylon the Great, also known as Egypt, was their salvation and their help from their own countries. You know, but now look, now it's what is it, alligator Alcatraz? Now it's alligator Alcatraz waiting for you. So now you just left your home country to come here, and now you might possibly be thrown in a concentration camp. Now, so now you just put yourself in an even worse situation. You just left South America, Central America, or Mexico, and now you might possibly you're gonna be separated from your family, your woman and your kids. Now you might be thrown in a what's the El Salvador prison, or the alligator Alcatraz concentration camp. Woe unto them that go down to Egypt for help, because now you're about to be in trouble. And I work with a lot of northern tribes, and now they all starting to lose their job because their work permits is expired because Trump not renewing or doing what Biden did. He basically saying y'all better go back to your own country. Y'all about to be in trouble. So now y'all losing your jobs, and you know you need a job in America. you don't got a job in America, you fucked, pretty much, you know. So it's bad. That walk to go down into Egypt and not have not access my mouth.
Right, have not asked in my mouth, have not inquired the prophets, all right? Because then our forefather King David, whenever it came down to him to make a decision, then he seek counsel from the Lord, you know, because King David was a man after the Most High's heart, you know.
To strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
Right, to trust in the shadow of Egypt, you know. They pretty much was making Egypt like a shield, you know. They pretty much making Egypt their refuge, you know. They making it their support system, like it's their defense.
Yeah, because Jacob's doing that to avoid punishment. You know, Jake catch hell in other countries around the world because that's by design. Esau wanted to fund everybody to his world, you know, get you in his system so he can spend his money, you know, work his fields, you know. And like you said, now they got what they wanted. Now they kicking Jacob out of here, man. You know, but they're going to, you know, this time specifically, he's talking about King Hezekiah, you know, getting pressure from the Syrian Empire. Instead of humbling himself inside of the Lord, he ran to Egypt, Pharaoh, man. You know, so Jake always went into Egypt for political backing, you know, to get help and aid, you know, and all that does is bring confusion, man. Foreign gods, you know, all type of strange laws and customs.
If I make reference to your point, that's what it is for us to add things because they going after their power, you know what I'm saying? Pretty much like you said, it goes back into, you know, serving, worshiping another God.
Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion.
Right, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion, man, because you seeking after the ways of these heathens, all right, and their power, thinking that you know that you're going to pretty much prevail, you know, you pretty much going to be successful, all right, but you're not, you know what I'm saying? These things are to your failure, you know, like the brother was saying. That's why, you know what I'm saying, that confusion, man.
Right, and I'm gonna jump down to verse 9. That this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord. All right. It says that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord. All right. And what does the script say about the nation of Israel? It's a rebellious people, a stiff-necked people, a hard-hearted people. And hard-hearted, what's that? Hard-headed, hard-minded, stiff-necked people, stubborn. Our people are hard-headed. Our people are stubborn. All right, and our people are rebellious. Verse 10, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. All right, verse 10 again. What said to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. So they don't want us to be serious, all right? They don't want us to see the wickedness going on in the world. They don't want us to see the evil times getting ready to take place. They don't want us to see the prophecies that's getting ready to come to pass. They don't want us to talk about Jacob's trouble. They don't want us to talk about the MOTB being mandated. They don't want us to talk about the famines, the food shortages coming. They don't want us to talk about the pestilences and the viruses and diseases that's coming, that's already here. You know, they don't want us to talk about the lockdowns and the next global pandemic. They don't want us to talk about the Lord returning and the slain of the Lord shall be many. They don't want us to talk about that. They don't want us to see. And to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. They don't want us to come in the spirit of the Lord. They want us to come with the prosperity doctrine and everything gonna be all right and God loves everybody and that you can live your way the way you want to live it. They don't want us to prophesy. They don't want us to speak the words of prophecy that only a remnant of the nation of Israel will receive salvation. They don't want us to teach it. They want us to teach everybody go be saved. But that's not the case. Because like the scripture says, the slain of the Lord shall be many, and many shall bow down to the slaughter. People don't want to hear that, and they don't bring out those precepts in churches. And the Lord is about balance. The Lord brings peace. He brings evil. Just as and the Lord brings destruction and he brings salvation. You know?
They're saying that because they're guilty. You know, it's like at school, you know, when we had homework done, you did the homework, but everybody in the class ain't school and they don't want you to say nothing. The teacher might have forgot, you know? But they don't say nothing. He forgot we did the homework. He thought you got off on something, you know? Because again, you ain't do what you were supposed to do, man. You know? And you're going to get mad at the dude that did the homework when you ain't do the homework, man. You know? And again, that's how it is now, man. You got the righteous, us, you know, spin our pulse nails on down for decades, trying to walk the straight and narrow path. You know, of course we want destruction to come, man. But this place is wicked, man. But Jake don't want that to happen because they want to live and continue to be evil on this earth, man. You know? Because again, Jake's guilty, man. They join that. They join hand in hand, man. That covenant, and that covenant gonna be sealed with that chip, man. They gonna marry to the devil, man. Or we getting married to the Lamb, man.
Yep. And he said that covenant is gonna be made with that chip. And when you get into those words, charagma and stigma, it means to show recognition of ownership and to be branded. So when these people go receive the MOTB, they're making a covenant and in an alliance, stating and letting it be known Esau Edom is their God and their power, whether they want to believe it or not. So if they make that decision to go, they receive that mark, you being branded, you being stamped. Now you property. Now you property of Esau Edom. And you did it willingly. Because at the end of the day, you got a choice. You know, some people say I had no choice, like during the time of the C-19 pandemic. People was getting the potion injections, you know, and because they said I had no choice, I was gonna lose my job. But you did have a choice. You could have went and got another job, or you could have struggled for a little. It's a choice. You get what I'm saying? Because wasn't no gun put up to their head and say you go. And even if it was, it's still a choice. You gonna die or you gonna take this. So there's a choice always. You might not like the choices, but there's always a choice, and there's always a path you gonna take. You gonna go right or you gonna go left. This is Isaiah chapter 31. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help.
All right, destruction. Woe goes into destruction. You gotta go.
And stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen.
Right. It says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help.
Yep.
It says they trust in chariots because they are many and horsemen. All right, because what, you know, our people just going back into Isaiah the 30th chapter, you know, which is when you go into the history, you know what I'm saying, Judah, you know, they seen the you know, how great of an army that the Egyptians had, you know. Cause what they looking at size, you know what I'm saying? They looking at which what today, all right, we spiritually living in Egypt, you know. Cause what our people are trusting, you know, their military might, you know what I'm saying? Which they see what the Humvees, the tankers, the drones, the air strikers, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, and Jake loved to say, and they be talking like this country, we got the strongest military. We. America, we got the strongest military. Can't nobody fuck with us. You know, they be talking like, you know, like them and Esau's partners.
Exactly.
You know, like the military, they gang or something. But that same military put you on the front line and you die so they could so the elites could profit off of your death.
So like I said, America is spiritually Egypt, man. This is the land of our captivity. You know what I'm saying? We under the hands of our enemies, man. You know, so-called white man is not your friend, man. You know, the devil that the Bible speaks of. But yeah, you got it, brother.
Yeah, that's right. We in captivity. We in bondage right now. Shit, we slaves. We got employers. When you get into those words, employers, employee, you know, you got a number attached to you, your social security number.
Or different content, like you said, your social security.
Yeah, social
You know what I'm
security.
saying? Your birth certificate.
Your ID got a number.
Right.
Everything got a number. You know, because you in that system and you crafty. And even when somebody get deleted or unalive, they don't even really be mad that person got unalive, because they don't be mad because you got unalive. They be mad because that's one less slave, one less worker, and the person that unalive you got to go to prison and pay for that, because each cell filled is money. When the cells is empty, that's money being lost when it comes to these prison systems. Because when Jake fills up these prisons, that's money for each cell filled. That's slavery. And in certain states it's worse. And it's free labor. Like when you go down to them southern states, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, they legit be working them prisoners like free labor type shit. You know? But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord.
Right, but they look not to the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord, which is, they don't look towards the how about you outside. Why? You know, because they feel like they feel like Egypt, all right, spiritual Egypt. They feel like they have all the resources, just like in the ancient times, where our people were seeking what? Oh, they wanted to go back to Egypt for what? The garlic, the onion, the leeks. You know what I'm saying? But they had honey shit. Even when you go to the history, they had beer. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing new under the sun.
They had drink.
Yeah.
Probably drugs too, more than likely. You know.
Yeah, most likely.
You know, smoking and all that ain't nothing new. Hallucinogens.
Right. But what does the scriptures say, man? The scriptures goes into Egypt being a broken staff, man. This is a broken system, man. This place is at a more, it has a more, it's morally decaying, man. You know what I'm saying? Actually, the infrastructure is decaying. You know, the economy all jacked up. You know, people having a hard time getting jobs. You know, and the people that do have jobs, you know what I'm saying? The wages is not covering their bills.
Yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. You know, in verse 3. Now the Egyptians are men and not God, and their horses flesh and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they all shall fail together. And, you know, and it says, now the Egyptians are men. Esau, Edom is a man. Mystery Babylon the Great is ran by man. You know, these horses and etc. is flesh. The weapons of man is carnal. You know? And it says, he that helpeth and he that hopeth shall fall down, and they shall all fail together. So Egypt is gonna fall, and the ones that go to Egypt for help is going to fall, because they didn't seek the Lord. You know? Because they didn't seek the Lord. And the script says you're supposed to seek the Lord and give diligence, which is why we preach. Seek the Lord now, while he may be found.
I was gonna say I just want to Jeremiah 17:5.
All right, well, yeah, this Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 5. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 5. Thus saith the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man.
Right, and what man does the nation of Israel trust in? All right, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. They trust in Esau, Edom. You know, it's a told 9:24 tells you that the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. You know, so they trusted in the wicked. What you got, brother?
They trusted in the wicked. And maketh flesh his arms, and whose heart departed from the Lord.
Right, they make his flesh his arm. Because what? Nobody can deliver you, nobody can redeem you except for Yahweh Shem Shah. You know, not none of these carnal things. You know, not your stockpiling of food and water. All right, not your generators, not your bunkers. You know, none of these things. You know,
Not your Glock.
right? Yeah, like you said, but not your Glock. No weapons. All right, cause Jake swear up and down they got it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got this assault rifle, I got the 223s, I got switches, I got what else, bro? What you can think of? I know you know. You know what I'm saying? Right, exactly. Yeah, AKs, Draco. You know what I'm saying?
ARP.
But ARP, but according to the scripts, what did the scriptures say though? You know what I'm saying? None of these carnal things, none of the you know the man's arm. When they say you trusting in man's arm, you cursed. You know?
And not to mention, Jake be having all these switches and guns, but don't got no ammo. Niggas be having a little bit of bullets. After they had one session, shit, they on empty. Then what those weapons is good for? You know, they be having half a clip, half a stick.
And these people be talking about generators and all that, but what you gonna do with a generator when there's gonna be an EMP attack?
Or what you gonna do with a generator when you run out of gas?
Right.
Because the gas station's gonna run out of gas. People gonna run out of fuel. So that generator only gonna last for so long. You know? And shit, we all know Jake's. And I know Jake be having a gun on him, and the gun, the clip don't even be half full. You know? He's got a couple bullets in there. Jake. Oh yeah, and they can't aim. So now you got Jake with these switches in these guns with a half empty clip or half with a half full clip or half full drum, and they can't aim.
You do that to your shit. They make it inaccurate. Making noise, open hit somebody, praying and spraying, shooting horizontal. Right. You know how many niggas die with guns on them? That shit don't mean nothing, man. Right. You live by, you gonna die by. That's what the Lord said.
Right. And then it's like you only got 2 arms and 2 hands. Like you got all these guns, but you ain't gonna be able to shoot them all.
That thing gonna be like Rambo.
Right.
You can't even shoot one gun the correct way. Esau Edom is at the gun range, right, or he on his land, or he's somewhere underground training. And it's more and more information coming out about these secret groups of these Edomites. Yeah, like militias and stuff, and they go under like secret names. It could be something like Carmax, or something you would just overlook or go past. But for those ones in the know, they know what to look for. They know the secret symbolism. They know the key words. They be training. They be practicing combat. They be in shape. They be practicing how to survive. They camp. They fish. They hunt. They go to the gun range. They get knowledge on certain things. Jake just smoking they weed, hitting they black and mild, drinking, smoking, popping they perks, eating garbage. Jake don't even be exercising. You know?
That's the thing, the gun, that's Esau's blessing, you know? That's Esau Edom's blessing.
Yeah, that's a blessing. How you think you about to go fight against somebody when you buying your shit from them and they supplying you? Verse 6. For he shall be like the heath in the desert. All right. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 6. For he shall be like the heath in the desert, and shall not see when good cometh, but shall inhabit the parched places in the wilderness, in a salt land, and not inhabited. Blessed is the man that trusteth in the Lord, in whose hope the Lord is. All right? Blessed is the man that trusteth in the Lord, in whose hope the Lord is. For he shall be as a tree planted by waters, and that spreadeth out her roots by the river, and shall not see when he cometh, but her leaf shall be green, and shall not be careful in the year of drought, neither shall cease from yielding fruit. All right? And think of a tree planted by water. It won't fear when the drought comes because it's by the river. Think of places filled with vegetation. It has to have a water source, whether it be rain or a river or stream going through. Think of North Carolina. We in North Carolina. It's a whole lot of vegetation here. It's a whole lot of trees here. That's because a lot of water comes here to give water to these trees, to this vegetation. You know? Ain't no wildfires here because a lot of water comes here. And it's a lot of vegetation and trees here. You go to certain places like the West, where it's dry and not much water goes, there's this desert and lack of vegetation.
Hey, Lord's willing, you was edified. You have by Shema Shabbarakathum. Shalom.
Shalom. All right, this is verse 8 of Jeremiah chapter 17. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? All right, and it says the mind is deceitful above all things and desperate. Who can know it? And you know, and the thing is, a lot of the people in this world, they lean. Going back to what we was going into earlier, these people lean into their own understanding. You know, they lean onto their mind instead of leaning onto the Lord. We don't lean onto ourselves. You know, and you even hear Jake say, "I believe in myself. I trust." We've all probably heard that. I believe in myself. I trust in myself. But at the end of the day, we worms. We ain't shit. You know, we need the Lord. All right, we need salvation. We need protection. We need mercy and compassion. And Jake could be in a low state and living in poverty and still say some shit like, "I believe in myself." Well, if you believe in yourself, why is you in the position you in? Why won't you put yourself out of that position if you believe in yourself and you got so much power? Because if Jake had the power, we wouldn't be struggling. We wouldn't be living check to check. We wouldn't be living in the ghettos and the projects, or having to go to Esau Edom for food stamps, or this, that, and the third. You know, Jake could be living their best life if it was up to them and they had the power. But you see, the mind is deceitful above all things, which is why we're not supposed to lean onto ourselves, because the mind is a dangerous place. The mind is a dangerous place. And you've even seen some of these bug outs. They try to get too deep because they're leaning onto their own selves, and they're deceiving themselves. Because now you got these crazy ass doctrines coming out. Now you got people spewing crazy things about the scriptures because they leaning onto their own understanding. They leaning into their mind. No, this is verse 10. I, the Lord, search the earth. I tried the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. All right, it says the Lord searched the heart. He's searching mine. And it says, I tried the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. And that goes into recompense too, as well. Your reward. And everybody got a reward. The wicked got a reward. And their reward go be pain and suffering and death. The righteous got a reward. And their reward go be mercy and compassion and salvation. You know, everybody gets the reward. Everybody go get the wage. Just like the wages of sin is death, the wages of righteousness is life and immortality and eternal life. That was it. No, that was it on that one.
It's John chapter 6 and verse 63. John 6 and 63. It is the spirit that quickeneth. The flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. So, going to the spirit that quickeneth, the spirit of Yahweh Shai, meaning the spirit of the Lord makes a lot. As the Lord quoted in Deuteronomy about man shall not live off bread alone, but off of the words that preceded, all the words that preceded by the mouth of Yahweh Shai, man. So again, going to how we wage war, we say we wrestle not against flesh and blood. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal. Again, you taking on carnal means to fight a carnal battle against a carnal man. The carnal king being Esau, you're gonna lose, man. Because again, you can't rage a war you can't afford. This ain't Call of Duty where you can just pop up with a loadout. Motherfucker got 500 bullets, and sliding and jumping over walls. How heavy 500 bullets is, man. Grenades and all type of loadouts and stuff, secondary weapons. Motherfucker got 3 guns on them, and all type of extra shit. Thinking that's how wars run, man. It's not, man. And then again, the physical aspect of it, fatigue. You ain't gonna be running, sliding, jumping over shit like it's a video game in real life, man.
Right. They can't even run from this corner to that corner without damn near passing out. They can't even run the block without damn near passing out and being done for the day or the week. So to think you gonna be and shooting guns also actually takes energy out of you. If you've been to the gun range, you feel the vibrations. You'll feel it in your shoulder. You'll feel it in your arm. You might feel it for a couple days.
And going to again raging that war, because you read earlier about us being planted by water. A tree being planted by the water, meaning again the resources, man. The spirit is infinite. You can tap in forever, man. We're talking about eternal life. Okay, the words of Yahweh, the living words of our power. You don't run out of food. You don't run out of bullets. You run out of time, man. But you can never run out of the spirit of Yahweh. Again, you go into real war. Your loadout should be based on your logistics, man. If you can't reload your shit, you probably shouldn't shoot it, man. You probably shouldn't be shooting that bitch. That's a last case scenario. But again, like talking about Jake riding around with that shit. So what? You know what I'm saying? You just gonna die strapped. Niggas die strapped all the time, man. It don't matter, man. Because again, it's a deeper level to what's happening on the earth, man. You just being calm, you gotta be spiritual, man. Right. You gotta be right hand spiritual. There's left hand spiritual, man. But again, we're talking about tapping into Yahweh Shai. That's how we're gonna live, man. Not by trying to feed yourself. Dump through the dumb shit on earth they take.
Yeah, that's right. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna need as much mercy and compassion as you could possibly receive from the Lord. The Lord will direct your paths. The Lord will put the spirit on you to go this way because death is the opposite way. The Lord is going to put the spirit on somebody or a raven to feed you or help you in time of need. And just like with the story of Elijah and with the raven. You do research on the raven is one of the most intelligent birds on the planet. it also has memories and lives for a certain amount of years. You know, this is the precept. Hebrews chapter 4 verse 12. For the word of Yahweh is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. You know,
That's the weapon we use, man.
yeah.
You know, again, an eternal weapon, man. A spiritual weapon. Spiritual weapons are way worse than carnal weapons. Let's go just talk about a spirit of man can bear its infirmities, but a wounded spirit, who can bear it, man? You know, low morale. You think about morale. Again, you talk about war. You know, if you're going out there and you know what I'm saying, you're gonna get handled. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get handled, man. That's low morale. That's why you go to the law. If a man just married a woman, you know, a wife, you know, certain other things, you know, got some new land, which Yahushua brought it back. You know, if you're making excuses, you know, there's a fine line, you know, but that's in the law, man, so that you don't bring that energy to the army, man. You know what I'm saying? Because that's contagious. You know?
Yeah. Because now you got the man next to you on fire and ready to get active, and then you got the man next to you thinking about the crib. He thinking about his woman. You know, his head ain't in the game. You know, which is why, you know, for certain sports, especially fighters, they gotta separate themselves from the world. You know, they. Oh damn it! Went out.
They've been doing that before.
Oh, you told me. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. They gotta separate themselves. You know, from the woman, from friends in the world, from the clubs, from the parties, from certain foods.
No, I don't know yet.
Okay, we still going.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah, you got it, bro.
Okay. Yep. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9 and verse 18. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroyeth much good.
Yeah, wisdom. You know, because wisdom is all aspects of weapons of war. You don't use for one purpose, man. Wisdom you can use for anything, man. Defense, offense. You know, both at the same damn time, man. That's what we're doing. You know, our defense is our offense, man. Well, we're defending the gospel, man. You know, we're gonna go into wisdom. You can deal with a man with a weapon. You know what I'm saying? You know, one guy with one gun, we'll find a way to get around that, man. Get a better vantage point. You know, lock him off, starve him out. You know, that's wisdom.
That's wisdom. Look what Israel doing to Gaza. They besieging them. They preventing stuff from going in and preventing stuff from coming out. That's it might be wicked, but that's wisdom. And we gonna starve them out. Because if they starving, they can't fight. You cut them off. If you cut them off, cannot come in or come out. Eventually, they gonna run out of supplies. They gonna run out of weapons.
Yeah, poison their water supply.
They poison their water supply. And shit, and even with wisdom, instead of weapons of warfare, I legit talked my way out of being, through the power and spirit of the Heavenly Father in the Son. I talked my way out of being unalive by 2/3 Jakes a couple times in my life. You know, sometimes Jake be on the liquor, or Jake be strapped, or Jake just be looking for trouble. You could use wisdom and use your tongue to talk, to get yourself out of certain situations. Because if I would have been carnal with them, I could have been gunned down. Instead of speaking smooth things and smooth speech. You know what I mean? A soft answer turneth away wrath. You know? Sometimes tell you got a problem. You know, some Jake just be, I mean, shit, we under captivity, and Jake be going through it, and Jake, it's a lot of crash outs out here. Like, that's the truth. That's real shit. Jake just be ready to shoot niggas. For 2025, you'll get shot over an argument. I've heard about it. Shit, I've seen it. You'll get shot over an argument, not even a punch thrown, just because they be having so much built up hate and animosity and a whole bunch of just bullshit built up in them, and then they react and not to mention it's a bunch of men, a bunch of grown men that act like women pretty much, you know, basing everything off emotions. But you know, what was it? He brought it clear. Oh yeah, wisdom. Yeah, wisdom is better than
Yep, wisdom
weapons.
is better than weapons of war. Yep.
Yeah, wisdom is better than weapons of war. You know, it's like using wisdom. Hey, I'm not gonna go that way. I go that way, shit might go down. You know, I'm not gonna go out today because there's gonna be a lot of people out today celebrating paganism. And you know what comes with that. You know, you got precept.
Yeah, I got one for you, bro. Just to your point, like you were saying, like how Jake, be full of fury. Jake be mad out here, but
you mad at the world. You catch somebody else ass whooping. You know, somebody else bullet, or they didn't act that out on you because they mad at the old lady, or they mad at the nigga down the block. You know that you know y'all get what I'm saying. That shit happened, man.
They be emotional too, man.
Yeah.
They got his mama twisted in his head. They get offended by everything.
Yeah, everything.
That it's the book of Isaiah, chapter 51 and verse 20. It says, "Thy sons have fainted, thy light at the head of all the streets, as a wild bull in the net. They are full of the fury of the Lord, the rebuke of thy power."
Yep. They full of fury. You know? And hold on, wait, read that again. That's it. Like,
I read it from the top. This the book of Isaiah 51 and verse 20. "Thy sons have fainted, they lie at the head of all the streets, as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of the Lord, the rebuke of thy power."
Yeah, man. A lot of these people full of fury, full of rage. You know? But you see, us in this truth, we the man in this truth, we've experienced every emotion you could think of. Stress, depression, anxiety, sadness, you know? We just get being scared. Because for one, we fear the Lord, so you know we don't want certain things to happen. We don't want to receive death by nuclear destruction. We don't want to die by the famine. We don't want to die by pestilence. We don't want to die by the sword. You know what I mean? We don't want to experience certain things, pains and sufferings. But you see, we tap into the Lord because the Lord is our power. You know, and matter of fact, I'm gonna get that. Because the Lord.
Might bring out something?
Yeah, I'm about to look at something right now. This is 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. "For Yahweh hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." This truth, the words of this book, gives us the spirit of power. You know, gives us the spirit of power and love and a sound mind. You know? Because we had peace. Because we know what's coming. We got a heads up. And we know what to look for. We know what to expect. You know, and we know the rewards of seeking the Lord. And we got a sound mind. And like the scripture says, knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of our times. When everyone is in chaos and chaotic, and their mind is in shambles, in a mess, we gonna be at peace and have a sound mind and have faith and hope in the Heavenly Father and His Son. Be not therefore ashamed of the testimony of our Lord, nor of me his prisoner, but be thou partaker of the afflictions of gospel according to the word, according to the power of Yahweh, who has saved us and called us with an holy calling, not according to our works, but according to his own purpose and grace, which was given us in Yahweh Shai before the world began. All right? We, through the power and spirit of the Heavenly Father and his Son, we saved and we call with an holy calling. Being on the highways and the byways is a holy calling. All right? And everybody don't get this calling. But we got to read it again. You know, many shall be called, but few are chosen. Which is why this is the fight, and we contending. We contenders of faith. You know, we contenders, and you know, through the spirit, a lot of things been happening in Israel. You know, men bugging out, men falling out. The leaders and elders tightening up the flock. Hey, do more. You know, read more, study more, do more, put more work out. You know, and through the power of Spirit, Heavenly Father, and the Son, because we in the last days, and it's like a think of a team trimming the fat, and cutting off the weak links. Because what they say, you as strong as your weakest, you are as strong as your weakest link. Is that how the saying goes?
Yeah.
You're as strong as your weakest link. You're only as strong as your weakest link. Meaning, even your weakest link got to be solid. Even your weakest link got to be strong. So, oh, yeah, you got it.
This is Hebrews 10. This is Hebrews chapter 10, verse 23. I'm going to read 24. It says, and let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works, not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as you see the day approaching. You know, not for brothers going into iron sharpening iron. You know, because when brothers gather together, we gotta encourage brothers to keep doing the work. And that's what we do. And you do that by doing lessons, by doing sit-down lessons, exhorting one another daily, right? And when brothers congregate, you gotta be when 2 or 3 gather in my name, right there. I am in the midst thereof. Brothers should be speaking spiritual things when you get up. How we can conduct ourselves better in our day-to-day lives, how we can grow in this area. That's what Yahweh Shema Shai is requiring of us, especially as we see the time and seasons that we're in. The time was the end.
Yeah. Which means you can't get offended or be emotional when an elder or leader tell you to do something or expect you to do more, because at the end of the day, it's for your benefit and the body's benefit. You get what I'm saying? Because they basically telling, hey, shit, tighten up, get sharper.
This is Proverbs 99. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. It's basically it. Give instruction to a wise man. A wise man will hear and increase in learning. He's actually going to apply what he learned to his life. A fool will hear words, because wisdom is looked at as treasure, right? So if you don't use that wisdom, then what good is that treasure?
Just like the script says, a fool despises instruction. And it's a script reproof. Of what a man often reprove hardeneth his neck. Yeah, a man often reprove hardeneth his neck.
I got that for you. This is Proverbs 29:1. He that being often reproved hardeneth his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy.
Yeah. And that without remedy. So you know,
Good job, bro.
and we've seen, and I'm pretty sure all of us probably witnessed it or heard of it. Someone constantly rebuked and reproved, they become hard at this neck. They become stubborn over time and don't want to hear it, or get offended, or get emotional, or or just go left.
Yeah, because they forget the spiritual part. They see the man and they think the man's getting on them. That's the Lord getting on them.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, they think the man trying to punk, they think the next man trying to punk them,
Yeah.
or control them.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yep. This is the book of Tobit, chapter 4, verse 18. It says, ask counsel of all that are wise, and despise not any counsel that is profitable.
Yeah. Despise not any counsel that is profitable. If a man tell you, hey, you need to study more, you need to read more, is that not profitable unto you? The man, if a man tell you, if the counsel tell you, hey, you need to fast, is that not, you need to fast and pray more, is that not profitable? If counsel tell you, hey, you need to stay out them clubs, man, stay out them parties, stay away from them niggas, is that not profitable unto you? You know? Because these words and the counsel of these words and through the spirit the men set up is profitable unto us. Just like this health to our navel and marrow to our bones, life, energy, spirit.
Yeah, I got that. This is I got something. This is Psalms 141 in 5. It says, "Let the righteous smite me; it shall be a kindness, and let him reprove me; it shall be an excellent oil, which shall not break my head. For yet my prayer also shall be in their calamities." You know, so we're letting the righteous, which the men of the Lord. You have brothers over you. You got brothers over you might give you some sound advice. You know, maybe they experienced something you haven't yet, right? But you have men of the Lord who are here when you read about the story of Jacob and Cain and Abel, right? He said, "Where is thy brother?" He said, "What? Am I my brother keeper?" You know, we are. You know, clearly you are your brother's keeper. That's why when Yahushai's family came to him, you know, he kind of dissed them in a way. He said, "Well, I'm not gonna put my ministry on the pause for my family, you know, because the real brothers are they of the household of faith. You know, that's your real family. That's who you should really care about, you know, and you care about someone, open rebuke, you know, being better than a secret love, right? That's, you know, giving sound counsel, wisdom, you know, via the Holy Scriptures."
It's Daniel chapter 12. I read 9 and 10. This Daniel 12 verse 9. And he said, "Go thy way, Daniel, for these words are closed up and sealed to the time of the end." And that's now, man. These prophecies, right? This book has been opened up before the firmament for what? For, as it says in Timothy, all scriptures given by inspiration of the Most High, profitable unto doctrine, you know, reproof, instruction in righteousness, what we're paraphrasing, you know, especially these last days, man. You know, so that's why again the Lord raised up men that not only are teaching you but live it, because that was the whole problem with the wicked scribes and Pharisees, man. Yahushua said, "Do as they say, but not as they do," man. You know, you have men out here, you know, apostles on down are actually doing it, man. You know, and showing you the right way, showing you the old path. You know, Jake still want to be stuck on stupid, but that ain't our problem, right?
Yeah, you got a bunch of upstarts, you know. Now the secrets have already been revealed, but yet you got some. You have another counsel that we're supposed to listen to. You know, that we should draw from and be filled, right?
So Daniel chapter 12 verse 10. Many shall be purified and made white and tried.
That's right, and that process is happening now. Many being purified, Because wherewithal, how shall a young man cleanse his way by taking heed to according to thy word? So this word, it purifies you. It makes you clean. It makes you holy. To be pure, to be set apart from the world. Scriptures say, if any man be offended me, in the midst of a wicked and adulterous generation, the Son of Man is going to be ashamed of you. So you can't be ashamed to perform to stand up for righteousness.
Right, that's it. Hey, you're not ashamed of your Mo cousin, or your super transformer, whatever. He, she, them, but you're ashamed of the words of Yahweh Shai. Man, you see the man of the Lord, and you get all, cringy and shit, try to hide, go around the block, The Lord gonna be ashamed of you on that day, man.
That's right. So those who are being made purified and made white and tried, you're going to be put through a test. Your faith is going to be tested. It's going to be put in situations where you got to apply that counsel, and it may not be the most popular populated opinion compared to everyone else in the world. Because we're here to be set apart, to be wholly different. Better hear the reproof of the wise and the song of fools.
Yep. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 5, it is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools.
Yeah, and that word rebuke goes into like a harsh correction. It's better than, you got Jake driving 100 miles down the road, blasting music, swerving in and out of traffic. It's better to curse his ass out and tell him to slow down than, hey, bro, you might want to slow down. Nah, or someone else in the car, yeah, keep going. It's better to be cursed out, whether it means we gonna be continue to be friends or not. Because we're not looking to be friends of this world. If you're a friend of this world, that makes you an enemy towards Yahweh Shema Shai. Right? So it's better to hear the rebuke of the wise men of Israel today are those who have the wisdom of Yahweh Shema Shai, the men of the Lord. Right? The song of fools, false prophets, your friends in the world, it sounds good, but it ain't wisdom. But I got a precept. Was that down there? You got to finish Daniel?
Yeah.
Okay, let's finish Daniel and then Kabbalah got a precept.
It's Daniel chapter 12, verse 10. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand.
See, the song of fools.
Yeah, but the wise shall understand.
But the wise shall understand. You see, many shall do wickedly. Right? And that's what you're seeing. We're seeing many of our people do wickedly here in these last days. Right? People egging them on and encouraging them. Shake your booty. Do this, do that. It's all right. Who cares what they think, girlfriend? That's the spirit people are in. You should be in the spirit of constantly examining yourself. Like we got to say here at Great Millstone, starting with the apostles and the other bishops, walking on eggshells. Your next move could really be your last move. That's why you shouldn't do anything without counsel. Advice. Hey, this is the situation I'm about to get into. What y'all brothers think about this? You got, because a demon, you look back at situations that you went through, and you be like, oh, damn, that was a demon. That said this or that advised me to do this, that put doubt in my mind. But you got a precept about it?
It's Proverbs chapter 12. It's Proverbs 12 and 15. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise.
Yeah, because everyone seems to be right in your own eyes because it's in your mind, it's your thought, it's your perspective. But another man would have a different perspective. Like where's Waldo? You looking at where Waldo at? Yeah. Somebody come in, you've been looking, I can't find this nigga. But another brother come in. Oh, it's right there. And then you solve the solution to the problem.
Right.
You know? Read it again, look.
Con. This is Proverbs chapter 12, verse 15. It says, the way of a fool is right in his own eyes,
Mm-hmm.
but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise.
But he that hearkeneth to counsel. Because it wasn't just a king, he had counselors. A wise king, of course, if a man of understanding, especially upon the throne of Israel, right? But he would have counselors as well. That's why do you get like King Arthur? You get the 12 knights. You know, those were his counselors, right? But yeah, you got something, bro.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 2. It says, and if any man think that he knoweth anything, he knoweth nothing yet as he ought to know.
Yeah, if any man thinketh himself, to be this wise individual, the truth is all about me. It's my world. Y'all just living in that type of spirit. That's why Yahweh Shai said, I came not to be ministered to, but to minister. That word minister means to serve. So Yahweh Shai came to serve. And that's what this thing is really all about. Serving one another, sharing wisdom, sharing knowledge, not thinking to yourself more than you ought to. That was it.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 11. And such were some of you, but ye were washed, but ye are sanctified, but ye are justified in the name of the Lord Yahweh Shai and by the Spirit of our God.
Yes.
This is verse 10. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse.
Start at 9.
I'm gonna start at 8.
Okay.
Nay, ye do wrong and defraud, and that your brethren. Know ye not that unrighteousness shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh?
Yeah, the unrighteous. You see, the ungodly, and this is why you gotta repent. You can't just come as you are. There's a standard being set up. Right now on the highways and hedges. The Most High rejected Cain's sacrifice. You can't just give the Lord whatever you want and say this is enough. A woman can't come and serve you. I like steak. I like potatoes. I like drinking juices. But she wouldn't come and say, hey, babe, try this. I don't like this. I tried it. It don't taste good. I don't want it. I want my steak and potatoes. And then she just keep making this meal for you. Or she likes some incense in the house. I don't like how these smell. Oh, I like them too damn bad. The Lord wants things done how he wants them done, right? Because he's the man of the house. The nation of Israel is likened to a comely and delicate woman. We're supposed to be here to serve Yahweh by Shema Shai.
That's right.
The Lord is thy husband. So we gotta be in the submissive role when it comes to how we live down here, upon how we conduct ourselves.
And it's making a point, land backing off you. When we get in the kingdom, the 2/3 are going to be more angrier at the heathen and the Esau even than we're going to be. They're going to be giving more hell because they're going to realize, look, you duped me. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah, they're going to be the 2/3, but they're going to be of a lower class.
Of course, but like you can see how they could be more angrier in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Basically, like, you got us killed.
Yeah, like you're listening to your counsel had me going against my people and my power and my people.
Yeah. They can take accountability too.
That's it's shame. Yeah.
That's what they're gonna take that shame and turn the anger out on heathens.
Yeah.
Be not deceived, neither fornicators nor idolaters.
And many people are deceived. They're fornicating. Well, I'm spiritual. I don't believe in religion. I'm more of a spiritual type of individual. Which, the Most High, our people have a zeal, so they can acknowledge there's a higher presence, but it's not according to the knowledge of the Holy Scriptures. It's not able to make them wise unto salvation, right? So it said, "Be not deceived, neither fornicator,
Yep. Nor idolaters, nor adulterers."
Yeah, someone who's sleeping with another man's woman, right? Are women going out and stepping out on their man, right? You ain't gonna make it to the kingdom of Yahweh by Shema Shai. You don't really know your role, what your purpose is in life. If a woman going out sleeping with a bunch of people, a bunch of men, you know, or women, right? Because it's a freaky world we live in. You going off. You really don't understand what what that does to your body. You know, how that messes you up and messes with your brain.
Yep. And every bitch will say that every man was the fucking problem. No, you was the problem. But open up your fucking legs to every quiver, man.
Still is.
Yeah.
Still is the problem.
Yeah.
Women, they cause a lot of death. They cause a lot of incarcerations. It's a lot of men sitting behind prison walls due to a woman.
Did y'all hear about that? The guy, I think it happened in VA, or Rob was telling me. The guy found his woman cheating with the dude, blast the dude down, blast himself, and left the bitch fucking alive, man.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, they don't alive themselves over a woman.
Yeah, jealousy is the rage of a man. That's why brothers really shouldn't get jealous. You know, there's a saying, "He that cares less holds the power."
Yep.
That bitch come back.
Yep.
You stop texting her. Babe.
And it's 2025.
It's too, you know.
We not telling you to be emotionless. We got to be stoics, all right? And it'd be wise not to get too attached or emotionally invested into these women.
Yeah, you go out to dinner, she orders shrimp. You know, you be like, damn.
Because if you get too emotionally invested into anything in this world, you setting yourself up for failure. You setting yourself up for a broken heart, for your feelings getting hurt. Because this isn't our world, and this world is for wickedness and against righteousness, and we just don't mix.
Yeah. You got brothers. In my situation, we pretty good right now. You know, all right, but eventually, you know, the Lord let Jake get his heart broken.
Yeah.
You know, because that's how you did the Lord. That's you feel that pain. That shit hurt, don't it? But that's how you did Yahweh by Shema Shai. You know, you think the Lord wasn't angry when we backslided? You know, let's keep reading that.
And last point, and these women will switch up on you within a blink of an eye. One day might be good, the next day you might be like, what the fuck? What happened?
Yep.
Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor adulterers, nor effeminate.
Yeah, that word effeminate, when you break it down, it's basically a compound word. You know, meaning minus, effeminate goes back to the word of fidelity, which means faith. So those who lack faith, you know, and that's why Yahweh Shai would always get on his disciples, "Oh, ye a little faith." You know, when they was on the boat, you know, they was waking up. I mean, just they woke Yahweh Shai up, "Hey, save us, save us." The Lord, like, yo, just take the water out the boat. You know, just man the storm. Weather the storm. You ain't never been in no storm before with a boat. You know, have faith, pray. You know, when you lacking faith, why are you panicking? Because Jake start panicking, that anxiety demon start kicking in. Breathe. You gotta take a deep breath. You know, and assess the situation before you just start making rash decisions. You know, and that's what's gonna get a lot of people deleted during the time of Jacob's trouble, making irrational. Because we gotta be rational Christians, but irrational. You know, there's a sickness with your rationality, how you think. You know, and we can't be like that. You know, in the time we in now, the times we're coming into. Really gotta click this up. Go ahead, bro.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 2. It says, I started top points into.
Okay.
My son, thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Yeah, because a lot of temptation, you your desire in your flesh is always present. It's very easy to go after your flesh. It's very easy to do whatever you want in this kingdom. If you got the money to do it, you can. If you have money, you can do as thou wilt here. And if you love money and you don't have it, you'll sell out and do wickedness to get it so you can fulfill that lust. You see? So the God of this world is mammon, is money. You see? So we're not to be like that. You got it, bro.
Yep. Yeah, that's the point. Ecclesiastes 2:2, it says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure and make not haste in the time of trouble.
Yeah, you gotta set your mind in the uprightness. You see? Set thy mind aright and constantly endure. Because no man that war entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, and that he may please him which have chosen him in his will.
Hey, it's funny you say that. I was dealing with a woman, long time ago, and our relationship was great when she wasn't caught up in the cares and affairs. Her focus was on me. Got off social media, all those things, and then, once those things came back, the relationship with the shit.
Yep. Too many spirits.
Yeah.
Too many,
Yep.
Too many opinions.
Yep.
Really, because that scrolling on social media, that's a demon.
Yep.
It's too many opinions, too many voices.
Them likes is life.
Yeah.
Them likes, the comments, the attention,
Mm-hmm.
for men and women, it does something to the cranium. It does something to the mentality of these people. The clout, the attention, the likes, the comments, the inboxes. It rots these people. And it gets them further and further away from reality and from the spirit.
It activates. I'll tell you what likes do to the brain. Social media. It says it triggers a release of dopamine that causes a feeling of pleasure.
And I believe dopamine is basically the happy hormone.
Yeah.
So it makes you happy, and when you're pressed down with bills, work, anything that will relieve that tension,
It's something you said too. It says similar to eating delicious foods, receiving money.
Ain't nothing like somebody give you money, you
yeah.
get cash.
Yeah.
Let's say they paid you. Let's say that every you get paid, they give you cash every week. You'd be a lot happier.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, look at this cash right here. But when you receive it in a digital, you
don't let it be unexpectedly you receive it.
Yeah.
That's even,
Yep.
Alright, ain't nothing like going to the bank having, I don't know, that cash. You got cash.
Yeah.
You can have, let's say you got $100. Let's say you got paid $500.
Mm-hmm.
You got $500, and you take out cash. You're like, man, I'm feeling rich right now. Damn, well, you can't do nothing with that $500.
That's already accounted for.
It says this creates a cycle of motivation and reinforcement, encouraging users to return to more likes. This mechanism can lead to increased social media use, and in some cases may contribute to addiction and negative impacts on self-esteem and mental health.
Self-esteem and mental health, and that's what's constantly being attacked here. There was this post talking about women. We live in a society where women are where women are so women are looked at as paraded to be lust objects.
Yep.
But also at the same time they're like, hey, you got the gym, I got a boyfriend type of spirit. But then it lowers their self-esteem because women want to be looked at. They want to be talked to, interacted with. They social butterflies.
Yep.
That's really why they put themselves out there to be so they can have some type of interaction. And then when they don't get those interactions, because now in 2025, you don't really want to look at a woman because she thinks you like her or some shit. I just held the door open for you.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know anything about you, this creature.
Yeah.
Right?
They're just seeking validation.
Exactly. But that lowers their self-esteem, so now they go on social media. Now they start to sell themselves. That just popped up.
Okay.
You was reading. You
Okay.
can take it out. Mine's good.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, I got
Yeah, go.
Bring it on.
It's like the brother, he opened for the shot. That's for the ball. You got it, bro. Come on.
John 5, I start at verse 43. John 5:43. I am come in my Father's name, and ye receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, ye will receive him. Ye will receive. Yep. Verse John 5:44. How can ye believe which receive honor one of another, and seek not the honor that cometh from the Most High only? So you try to get approval from men on earth. You want to be accepted in tribal, acceptance of people of the world, man. The approval of men, the praise of men. How can you seek the praise of God by your side? That's all you have, man. People on social media, that's what they do, man. They broadcast their life. They trying to sell this lifestyle that is not even real. Trying to sell like they're happy, when they don't even know, again, what's going on the earth, man. They don't understand the prophecy. They don't understand the will of Yahweh Shai, man.
Yeah, you had that No Jumper podcast demon.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this is like, what are you doing, my guy? And the fact that he's trying to still sell this image, and his pocket's hurting. Because we under the curses.
Yeah.
I don't care how much money you get, that shit goes fast. It's in their house.
Especially even a certain lifestyle.
Yeah, because it's called lifestyle inflation. Because once you start making money, doors start opening up. Oh, wow, I didn't know I could drive a car this nice.
Right.
Like, it's a spirit. When you drive a BMW, it's all clean in there, or like a Porsche SUV, you be like, damn, you can feel the difference rather than your little hoopty. So you're like, I like being in this car. So then you're chasing these things, these validations that really don't make you a man.
Yeah, because it's an experience, and that experience, ultimately, it's idolatry, man. It's a ritual, If you give into it too much, you're gonna Rolls Royce. I don't want that bitch. It's different, man.
Yeah.
It's quiet in there. You don't hear shit outside the car, man. You're in your own bubble, man. Shit is cool. You coasting up all the bumps. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You floating on that. You floating on like you're driving a boat, man. That puts you in a spirit, man. That's why it's called the spirit of ecstasy. When that bitch come out the front of the hood, it's called the spirit of ecstasy.
Damn.
It's a spirit, man.
Yeah.
Which leads to you wanting to be praised, but ultimately vanity.
Yeah.
Because the likes and the posting on social media and look what I'm doing and look where I'm at and look what I got, it's all vanity.
Eventually you start to trim your ways to seek love and validation, which that comes, brings money as well. So they got a precept up for me about that?
Yep. This is the book of Luke, chapter 12, and verse 15. And he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesses.
That's right. Covetousness. Scripture say, envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. You want what another person has. And if you want what they have, you might, they got something nice, but you want what they have, it's not time and chance. Happiness to evolve. The Most High make it rich, the Most High make it poor. I was watching this, they did this experiment with Monopoly, and they had people flip the coin at the beginning of the game, and if you flip you flipped heads, then you got, every time you pass go, you got double the money, and you got to roll with 2 dice. And if you flip tails, then you only have 1 dice, and when you went around go, you only got $100 rather than the $200. So you would inherently put at a disadvantage. And they were going into how when they played the game, no matter what age, gender, sex, the person who got the 2, they asked them, like, why do you think you won? And you think, it's because I got heads, Oh, it's because, I bought this property, this was a strategy I used to get me the win. I trapped them here. I took over this corner.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, wait a minute, you had the advantage though. So people forget, and this world has forgotten understanding that the Most High giveth and He taketh away. It's the Most High that set people up in places of authority, that gives people riches, that gives people honor. And we, as we read, be patient when now are brought to a lower state. We're in this lower state now. We gotta be patient. There ain't nothing to be covetous after in this world.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 11 and verse 14. It says, prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come of the Lord.
Right. Yeah, come on. And I be thinking to myself, you don't want to be a spoiled brat. The Lord give you something. Oh, I didn't want this. He said, how do you think you sound to the Lord? You sound like a spoiled child. You say something about it?
I had a thing on my son. He put some shut that on me. I was in the store, I saw these shoes, I knew he would like them. I sent him a picture, you want these? He said, oh, those are dope. Yeah, I want them. But he said, but I really want these. And sent me a picture, the shoes like $200. I didn't even respond.
I really want these.
Yeah.
You about to fill these hands.
Bro. Bro.
You want these?
Right.
I want about these hands.
You think about that when you was going into that.
Yeah, that's how it be though. The Lord hook you up with a nice job. You get a job, you start complaining. What are you complaining for?
People don't know how to be thankful and grateful and appreciative, It's a lot of inconsiderate people. That's why the scripture says, be content, be thankful you got a roof over your head. Be thankful you got clothes on your back. Be thankful you got food in your belly. Be thankful you got a job. Because at the end of the day, that's why it says count your blessings. Because at the end of the day, it could truly be way worse than what you're really going through.
Yeah. Because when I was younger, I used to watch TV shows. There was a theme, it's called the moral of the story. And the moral of the story was always you never know what you have until it's gone. So you never know how good you had a situation until it's gone. So you want to be opposite of that. While you're in the situation, you gotta look for gratitude. Yeah, we here to catch hell, but you gotta remember your old job, that old demon. That woman that wanted to sleep with you, but she had a man bothering you all goddamn day, and you was burning 24/7 at the job. You gotta remember those experiences. You can't forget them. Those experiences is why you are who you are today.
Right. Yeah. I know what it feel like to eat good, and I know what it feel like to live off a corner store diet. Like I'm fucking in jail or something. I know what it feel like to live off of Hot Pockets and noodles, or putting beef sticks in your noodles, or some sandwiches, raviolis, shit like that. I know what it feel like to go wintertime without hot water and heat, going to sleep fully clothed, or having to boil water to wash your behind, and it's cold. I know how that fit, and it makes you. And when you go through certain things. When you go through certain things in life, it makes you for one, it humbles you, and it makes you be more thankful and appreciative for the things you have. Because like the brother just said, you don't know what you have until it's gone. You don't know how it feels to go without lights until the power goes out. You don't feel like to not have water until the water ain't working. Or feel like to not have heat until the heat stop working.
And it puts you in the spirit to say, really, you look back, I guess I didn't need all that stuff. All these things people are holding on to, fighting to hold on to.
And it hardens you too.
Yeah. People are fighting to hold on to this nice house. You realize all you really need is a quiet place to lay your head. But you read this out, you say you got free stuff?
Yeah.
Bitch come outside, sport bras on. Oh, yes, fact.
It's the book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 7. It says, for we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. All right. The point is in verse 8.
Yeah, it's evident. You brought nothing into this world. Naked came out into this world. Naked shall return. You know, you didn't work for anything that you got.
It goes to show you how bugged out those Egyptians were, man. They have people worship so goddamn much that they think that they work. You know what I'm saying? I saw something, and everybody, brothers know it, but they were some of these pharaohs would kill when they died. They would have their certain servants put to death, certain animals put to death, because they think they're gonna go in the fucking afterlife with it, man.
That's what scriptures. Was it a Pharaoh killed the butcher for his birthday? That's one of the things they do.
Yep.
He's like, yo, I got
Yep.
dead. Oh,
Yep.
damn.
Yep.
Putting in organs in jars, thinking they're gonna come back. Thinking they're gonna come back to them. Having they riches, and put all my shit in the tomb with me.
Yeah. The only thing you're taking with you is your spirit.
That's it.
That's what you're gonna take to the heavens, and then when you come back to the earth, and that spirit is gonna be judged. You know, a lot of pretty girls in the world, right? They everywhere. They're like POF, plenty of fish in the sea. So many pretty faces, but so many ugly spirits.
That's right.
You know, so many ugly spirits in this world. That's why brother see a girl. That's why I don't even follow bitches on Instagram. I ain't following no girl on fucking Instagram, OnlyFans, fuck all that shit. Then I'm following a bitch on Instagram so I can see how pretty she is. That bitch just had someone's penis in her mouth.
Yep.
You know, just to keep it frank. But you lusting all over her. Fuck all that. But read this out, read the precept.
Yep.
Excuse my vulgar language. It's just the truth.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
This is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 8. It says, "And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content."
Yeah, but with having food and raiment, you know, Yahweh Shai said the foxes have holes and the birds have their nests, but the Son of Man have nowhere to lay his head. He was a pilgrim.
Yep.
Yahweh Shai lived that pilgrimage. We go home after work, you know, I bet, you know, if you take me his bed free when to work, come home, lay on that bitch, he all comfortable. You know, Yahweh Shai, you know, all that's going to be taken away eventually.
You living on the road.
Yeah. Sleeping in boats. You know, that's like sleeping in a car today.
Probably slept under some trees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Yahweh Shai was a warrior. You know, we gotta be in that spirit to be like, you know, grateful, but we can go without it.
Yep.
You know, because there's gonna be times when you pull up to that grocery store, you be like, hey, how much that costs? All right, we can get that, We ain't getting that. We ain't getting that today. Then have to swing back around.
I saw a co-worker of mine about a month ago. I saw a co-worker, and I was doing some shopping. I saw a co-worker in the store, and they had a notebook and their phone and their calculator on their phone, and they were
You got.
in the freezer. I was like, yo, what are you doing? I'm trying to budget because I can't get everything. I tell you about it.
Yeah. That's how I be. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey. I might not do it with the notebook or phone, but you be keeping it in your head like, okay. I should be about this much.
Hey, honestly, I'll be keeping the receipt sometimes. You know, let me see how much I spent this week.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I gotta keep this receipt, man. And then we live in a world. You gotta start. Brothers gotta be like more, like speaking up for yourselves. You know, you go buy some food. Let's say you were tight. Let's say you go buy some food ain't made right. You gotta call them back and say, yo, you gotta make this right. You gotta fix my order. This ain't what I want.
This ain't what I
This ain't what I paid for. You know, money tight. Don't be an asshole.
144 again.
144.
Spirit.
You know, Lord. You know, so somebody listening. You know, but go ahead. You say you got press about. Keep reading that.
Oh yeah.
Read it one more time at least.
Okay, kind.
That was all. That was the point. Read it one more time.
Yeah. I'm gonna start from verse 7. This is the book of 1 Timothy.
I like to stay there. Let's read down to 11.
Okay, kind.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. This is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 7. It says, "For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts.
Because it's a big to have wealth, to have money. Look at Esau Edom. He has wealth, resources, but he's fallen into temptations of doing whatever he wants rather than ruling the earth and how it should be ran.
Yep.
So, brother, you got, so you know, brothers, you got 6 figures in the bank account. You got, you can call this woman up, take her out on a nice date. You can flaunt because you can lead with your wallet. You know, you lead with your wallet. You know, wine and women make men of understanding fall away. Now you in a different, you know, category. You're doing bottle service. You know, you can, if you can afford bottle service, then that's a certain type of lifestyle. You know, you gotta be mindful of. You know, because it opens doors. You got certain jewelry on. Women see all that type of clothes you wear. You know, ain't nothing wrong with, you know, looking a certain way. But you gotta be mindful. Those things come with different temptations, different lusts, because money answers all things. You burning? I got money, no problem.
We'll buy you one of them Instagram models.
Yeah, I mean, they'll fly to your house.
You know,
they're for hire.
And shit, if I was in the flesh and I was rich, speaking as a man, I would be buying models and buying the top of the line fine ass women. I mean, what man wouldn't?
That's gonna be in the kingdom.
You know what I'm saying? You know, if we was in the world, you know, like, you know,
I wouldn't buy an Instagram model.
I mean, one way or the other, you gonna pay for it.
You go pay for it in some way, shape, or form. But like, for the top of the line dime pieces, you gonna have to. Unless you grew up, unless you grew up with them or went to school with them or something that actually built a relationship or bond, or they know you from like work or something, you will have to pay for it.
Yeah, because they're pretty. So it's that pretty privilege.
Yeah.
So a pretty girl expects some type of lifestyle. Right. Well, if that pretty girl is getting this, then look how pretty I am. That's the type of spirit they come in. You know, but if you got money, you fall into diverse temptations with your food, with your diet. You know, you got access to alcohol, right? So you gotta be mindful, and that's why a lot of brothers be living paycheck to paycheck, because you're not in a situation mentally to be able to actually manage and distribute those goods to the body.
Right.
But read this. I'll keep reading.
It's kind of here. It's the book of 1 Timothy 6:9. It says, "But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts."
You see, many foolish, and what you want. Why would you want that? That's a foolish thing to really desire. You know, you got Jake. You know, I'll talk to Jake. You know, shit, man. What if you hit the lottery? What you gonna do? Bottle service. We hitting this strip. Like, I see things. I was watching this clip. You know, because XRP, you know, cryptocurrency. Everybody's talking about crypto. How I'm gonna get rich off of crypto. Bitcoin was the last crypto really. If you didn't get on Bitcoin, or if you don't have, you know, if you're not putting $100,000 into this coin that's $1,000, and you are when they get to $3, now I'm booming.
Yeah.
You know, anyways, to make a long story short, this nigga was dancing on top of a yacht when XRP hits $10, doing the little dance. And I'm thinking to myself, why would you buy a yacht?
Yeah.
Because
that's the worst thing to buy.
Exactly, because you know you might pay for a little like seminar group to hear a millionaire talk. He'll tell you like there's really no point to buy all these things. You know, really, if you really want a good life, you could travel. If you're making enough money, you can travel the world at $10,000 a month. You know, sleeping in the nice hotels, eating the best food, seeing all the places. He's like, why would I buy a Lamborghini and have maintenance? I can go rent a Lamborghini for a day and ride that bitch around. And then, you know, just lease everything. You know? So those who will own nothing and be happy, those are people with money.
Yeah.
But you know, because this world, you know, it's too expensive. It's too expensive. You know, if you really want to live this creme de la creme lifestyle, life is meant to be simple. Horses, you know, building wealth over generations of time, and you keep it in the family, and then you just experience things. Just because you have a nice car, that don't mean nothing. Okay, bro, keep breathing.
Real fast,
Yeah,
the rapper Common had one of my favorite lines in a rap. He was like, he said, "What good is a Range Rover when it's time to go home?" You know, yeah, at the end of the day, you driving the range, you pushing it, went out, did this, that, and the third, but it's gonna do the same thing as a Beetle.
It's gonna get you home.
It's gonna get you home, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah. That's, a lot of foolish and hurtful lust. And it's really, Jake is deprived.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you see an Instagram, man, I wonder how sleeping with her would be like.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yep.
It finished. You're gonna finish.
Yeah, so same positions,
Yep.
same end game,
Temporary.
Yeah.
No,
Temporary. Yeah. So it's the same.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Next 2 days later, you're gonna kind of forget about her.
Yeah.
You're gonna forget about it. I don't even remember what it felt like.
Yeah.
I don't even, I couldn't even remember her face looked like.
Yeah.
Some of us, we can't even remember names. We're like,
wow, 144 again.
yeah, damn.
It's all like, Jake, the experiences are gonna come.
Yeah.
In time.
744. I'm doing for 144, brother.
Yeah, bro. Better see numbers. Phone number.
It's the book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith.
So while you coveted after money, it led you to erring from the faith. We've heard guys, I'm not gonna get into details, but we know stories. Nigga a watch. Nigga a watch. Man, and this watch, bro, she walked up to me and she groped me.
Mm-hmm.
Women walk up to you and grope you because you got a watch on. We heard stories. And these guys ain't here, prominent figures.
Yeah.
So it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
That's the spirit that money brings to you. You gotta be careful.
Yeah.
You say something?
Yeah, it's funny. I'm pretty sure you know about it too, Michael Allah. Chad Ochocinco, all his jewelry was fake. He had costume. He was smart with that. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Damn.
They kind of call him cheap. One of the cheapest drive a sports car. You forgot that shit.
Yeah. I know.
Damn.
LaDainian Thomason, he had a little single family home.
Yeah.
And he had a hill in his backyard. He would just work out in his backyard. He used to run up the hill.
Yeah.
What's the quarterback in Philadelphia?
I don't know.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
He lived in an apartment. He ain't had no mansion or nothing. He still lived in an apartment as a professional NFL player.
Yeah.
Because it's like, for one, you on the road constantly.
Yep.
So it ain't like you there. He lived in an apartment and basically lived a damn near minimalistic lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that's how you be smart, due to, because when you want to get the mansions, you want to have a mansion here, a mansion there, a mansion there, a mansion overseas, cars here, cars there, all that costs. It costs to buy and it costs to keep up.
You ain't liquid like that.
Right.
Yeah, Jake really think they liquid. They ain't liquid like that. But read that again now.
This is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 10.
Yep.
For the love of money is the root of all evil.
So if you love money, then you serve it. Whether you serve money, you serve the dollar, the almighty dollar. And you see that, Jake will kill themselves at the job, working 60 hours. Gotta secure the bag. So you love this money because you love what it can bring for you. You love what the dainties it can give you. You gotta be mindful of that. Just because you got a bunch of money, maybe they're saving that. You gotta save that for a rainy day. Of course, you invest a little bit, but you gotta be able to pull things out to distribute and help the body. Or really, you got a lot of money. You should really be spending it all on your health, because health is really wealth. You got money. Yeah, that's why you got this dude Alizé spending money on a house for a woman. Hell no. Man, hey bro, every week, whatever brothers boys let me know, I'm gonna go to the juice bar, or I bought me a juicer. We're gonna set some younger brothers up to juice for us every week. We're gonna pay them. We liquid like that.
Yeah.
I got two precepts when y'all finish.
And one person, LeBron James, I forgot exactly how much it was, but he spent. I know it was over $1 million.
Yeah, he spent $1 million on his health.
Just on himself, like
on his health.
Yeah, on his health.
He has a private shelf. He does cryotherapy. He does the ice baths. The deep deprivation tanks.
You see the profit from him taking care of himself. He's still he over 40, but outworking a man in his 20s.
Yep.
You said two things. This is first one is Sirach 30 and 15. Health and a good state of body are above all gold, and strong body above infinite wealth.
Right. Because I live in a neighborhood. You can tell the niggas got money, right? They be driving a Range Rover, and then they got this other. If you see some like those Raptor trucks, them things expensive.
Yeah.
Them tires. I went to the tire shop, get some. The dude driving a Raptor, and it's gonna be $1,200 for your tires, and that's for two.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He's like, I only need the front ones. Yeah, $1,200.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be back.
Yeah.
So people got money, but you look at them, they unhealthy, they slow, they're not really moving like that. These bodies are corruptible, they're dying.
Yep.
But hey, we
still gotta take care of it.
If I had to run a mile, I'm not gonna die.
Right.
Yeah, I'll be through. Right.
At the end of the day, you should and supposed to be able to fight or take flight if you got to. You should be able to. That's why you should be able to bust down the full sprint if you got to. Be able to fight somebody up off if you got to.
I mean, look at the apostles. The apostle really, brothers may have been healthy. May have had some type of. You really. For me, speaking as a man, I didn't know about juice until I watched the Apostle Elder Gabar, Apostle Ramlab. They did that lemon ginger blast juice, and that's really, brothers. You tap into that. That juice right there. That's powerful juice right there. Then you start changing your diet. You start considering going and look at Elder Apostle Gabar losing. He tell you he gained weight and he lost it. That comes from and that the Lord been through things, so be like, you can't just say, oh, it's easy. Like, that's why I like David Goggins, because he got injured from running so much, but then he healed himself, went through the recovery, and his money that he had, he spent that on his health. That's the mindset brothers gotta be in. You get a little extra money, go spend it on some juices, go get a massage or something.
Go get them herbs and vitamins.
Yeah, bro.
Go get you some black seed oil.
Go spend some money on some cryotherapy. Go get a day pass, see how it feels. Go to the salt room. Go see how that feels. It make you be like, hey, I need to spend my money better. I can do this with my money. Yeah, brothers.
And you got the saying in the word: take care of your body, and your body will take care of you.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
What was you reading, Gadol?
1 Timothy 6.
6 and 10.
Read that, then I'll read mine.
Okay. Yep. It's the book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 8 and 5. If riches be a possession to be desired in this life, what is richer than wisdom that worketh all things?
Yeah. When it goes into richer, it means like what's more desirable. What what's really better? What's really of more value? Because things that cost nothing will really have the most intrinsic value. A good body, a good health, a good mind to really think about things. There's a lot of value in taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing like waking up through. You don't got no energy, but you got all this money in the bank. But you through. Overweight, bad health, bad acne. You see a woman that got that good skin. A woman should have some nice legs, bro. Them things should be shining.
Oh, I went to the mall some weeks back. This chick was fired too, by the way. She was fired. You know what I mean? Top, fucking hair, face, skin, nails. If her feet was shown, I'm pretty sure her feet look good too. But going back to taking care of yourself and your skin, she tried to get when I was walking by, they kind of sucker on me to try to get me to come purchase some stuff, out the store. And the store was like some facial cleansing cream for the skin and things in that nature. And a little small tiny jar was like $300 type shit.
Ah, dang.
But like, when women invest in stuff like that, they know what it do to the skin to make it soft, make it clean, make it clear, soft, clean, etc. They that's you investing into yourself. Because in the kingdom we gonna have
glowing skin.
Yeah, glowing skin.
You're gonna be glowing.
You're gonna be glowing.
That's why they're saying black don't crack. Cause Jake got glow to them now, even on this side. That's why we not here. It's different times. We warriors. I ain't about to fucking sit all day doing a skincare routine. But
slap some Vaseline on and keep it pushing.
But you should be mindful. They say you look good, feel good type of spirit. Yeah. So you should be mindful. All right, you groom yourself. You look all right, and you can feel it on your face. You don't gotta look in the mirror all day.
Yeah. You
can feel okay. I feel I'm good. I got the oils on. You take a quick glance. All right, I'm good.
And they say somebody could be raggedy, but when they get some money, they start looking good. Not they clean themselves up. Money. Now they got the good clothes. Now she can get her hair done. Now she can get them facial creams and lotions that she wanted. Now she get the perfume. Vice versa for the men. Now they getting the fresh, crispy cuts. Now they getting
without the lineups though.
Not the lineups.
I know, right?
Now they getting the clean, fly clothes.
It make you feel better. It boosts your spirit. I ain't telling you to change your whole wardrobe. But I was on the online looking at some shirts. I'm gonna give me a shirt. This is my new gym shirt. Little anime shirt. I'm gonna work out in this thing because it boosts your spirit. So you should be doing things. You should be doing good with your money. That's what we're trying to get into, right? But you got any more that could buy?
That was it.
That was it. Okay, let's get this bumper shot.
Yep. The book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 11. It says,
read that Wisdom of Solomon 8 and 5 one more time.
I got a precept too.
Okay, let's read it one more time. Then we'll get the precept.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 5. If riches be a possession to be desired in this life, what is richer than wisdom that worketh all things?
Because now that we have learned wisdom teaches us how we should spend money.
Yep.
You see? Look at your precept, bro.
This is Proverbs chapter 8, verse 10. Receive my instruction and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all things that may be desired are not compared to it.
Yeah, because they got this thing on the internet called Wall Street Bets. It's a Reddit. And you see people turn $1,000 YOLO their portfolio to $1 million. And then once they get $1 million, I'm going for $10 million.
Yeah.
Well, you know that time and chance happens to us all. But wise men say, "I got $1 million. What can I really do?" Or you hear people who win the lottery and they still go broke.
Yep.
Because they don't really got wisdom and really manage this. People really don't like. I was telling you that millionaire, he got a couple $1 million. He travels the world. He said he spends about $10,000 a month. But he can afford to do that when he makes $100K a month.
Yeah.
He makes $100K a month, but he's spending $10,000 a month living his best life.
Yeah.
So he's living very well below his means. But you got people that make $100K a month and will spend $150K a month. Or you got a brother, he started making $1,000 a week. Now he can afford a $2,000 a week lifestyle. So you gotta be mindful,
And there be stories coming out about ex-NBA players, ex-NFL players, and people that so-called made it in the world. They were once millionaires, and now they broke working regular jobs.
Yeah, there was this player. I can't remember his name. He played with LeBron James on the Cavs.
Delonte West.
Yeah, Delonte West. Everybody know his story. He was at the damn gas station begging for change. Strung out on drugs.
What happened?
Yeah, I mean, it's you not being able to control your flesh. Because you do some type of dope. We seen our family members, certain family members being destroyed for that. Every Jake got a family member that's strung out on drugs.
Or alcoholics.
Alcoholic. We all got family members like that. And every time, hey, bro, can I get $20? Nah, I can't feed you happy, brother. I'm sorry. I'm good. Now this can't be a part of your life.
Right.
But if you got money, now it amplifies it. Now you waxing rich, and you adjust your own wax fat and kicked. You forget about Yahweh Shemo and Shai. But go back to that first Timothy.
This is the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 6, and verse 11. It says, "But thou, O man of the Most High, flee these things and follow after righteousness."
Yeah, flee youthful lusts. Foolish lust. Flee those things. We're going to experience a lot in the kingdom. Of course, you got to do things. You got to chase. I saw this little Instagram reel. I be unfollowing people on Instagram. I don't follow everybody because really I don't even want to follow. When I turn on my feed, it needs to be motivational video. It needs to be
something profitable.
It needs to be something profitable. I don't want to look. I'll follow you real quick. But, it's just the truth. You need something inspirational. This dude, he made a reel that chase real dopamine. Exercising, going outside, nature. You be like, yeah, I'm going to try that. Because now you're feeding your mind with information and things that you should try to do. So I don't follow women on social media, bro. In the world, I found myself every time I go on this, I see nothing but women. And, I deleted that account and created a new one. It's called a Finsta. A fake Instagram. Something incognito. To where you can get solid information because social media can be used for good, just like your smartphone can be used for good.
Information at the tips of your fingers.
Chat GPT. All this knowledge, information the Lord has given us. For the ungodly is turned into evil, but for the righteous is turned into good.
Right. This is James chapter 2 verse 5. Hearken, my beloved brethren, had not Yahweh chosen the poor of this world, rich in faith, inheritors of the kingdom which He had promised to them that love Him.
That's right. So the Most High is dealing with the poor. Someone who's poor, they understand what it means to go without, right? But you're rich in faith, knowing that we're eventually going to get all things.
Yeah. And to be rich in this world,
that ain't.
Yeah.
Yeah, my phone's okay.
It said, woe unto them that are rich, for they have received their consolation.
Consolation.
woe unto them that are rich, for they have received the consolation thereof. Being rich, being rich in this world is like a camel feeding through what they say, through a needle.
Yeah, it says, it's hardly does the rich man enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah.
It'll be easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than to enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Because what comes with riches? Lust. Distractions, lust,
time. It takes time.
Temptation.
It takes time to manage your affairs when you're rich. You got a lot of money, you gotta really, if you want to keep that wealth, you gotta manage those affairs.
Yeah.
Manage your investments. You got investment property here, investment property here. You doing the market. You doing this business over here. Well, if you want those businesses to keep kicking, that takes time and energy.
Right.
That's why I say the cares, riches of this world, it choke you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you become unfruitful.
Like thorns.
It's the last verse. The very last verse. I said to you, let me see.
No.
That was it, right? But what did it say? Yes, what did it say?
Well, it was a little bit more.
Okay.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 16 and verse 26. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?
What does it mean to lose your soul? I mean, you signed it on the contract. It means before you got those riches, you had the character, you had a moral standard about what I would do with this money, how I would help the family, how I would help my mom out, I would help my cousins. I'll put people on, I'll help my friends. But you have some people do that, but even when they do that, it's so low level. All right, you're a rapper. You helped me get this business. Thank you. I'm well off. It ain't the kingdom. You know what I mean? So I'm grateful. This rapper. You grew up with me. You helped me out. Great. You didn't lose your ways. But you realize the kingdom of heaven is still going to come. So even when rappers do those things, have brothers seen that movie In Time with Justin Timberlake? It's called Time, where the time was on the arm. It dealt with classes. Anyways, He had his childhood friend. So Justin Timberlake being the main character, he had came in. Someone gifted him 100 years. So your currency was in time.
I've seen a preview for that.
Yeah. His currency was in time, and he was gifted 100 years. So he gave his best friend in the world 10 years.
Yeah.
And he went straight to the bar and drank his life away. And he died with 10 years on his arm. That same day, he died. So that's why, you think you're doing somebody good, but you're really doing them evil.
Right.
So in this world, it's all corruptible. So you got to seek the kingdom of the Most High, and then these things will be added onto us.
Yeah.
When we're in perfection. You see? Because not everybody can handle wealth. And you always got that one, but I can. Let me hold something.
Yeah.
Hey, we ain't even talking about wealth. I'm gonna tell you what happened back in my city during the time of the C-19 when they was giving Jake that unemployment, basically a free $1,000 a week.
Yeah.
Jake was acting a fool. It was empty Henny bottles and Patron bottles all throughout the streets. They was flipping rental cars. Like Jake was just straight up
bugging out.
Like I'm walking, because I lived in the ghetto. So I mean, it's empty Henny bottles throughout the streets, empty Patron bottles, broken glass. You hearing stories about niggas flipping rental cars because Jake hanging off the back and they driving crazy.
You heard about a brother. Well, he ain't a brother no more. He got unalived. You had Jake. He won like $5,000. He ended up getting drunk. The Lord put a spirit on him. I think we ran onto the highway. Only $5,000. You know.
And he was on the West Coast too, I think, right?
I'm not sure.
He was the West Coast.
But average price of one bedroom is $1,500. So if you get $5,000, that's 3 months of free rent. And Jake is bugging out off of 3 months of free rent. Imagine if a nigga's got 6 figures, 7 figures in the bank. You know? What's he gonna do then? Damn, that's the second one. People, you know, I mean, you ever go to the hospital? They always full. Now we know why. But Papa Shaw, you got a precept you want to bring out? Or was there any more?
It was a little bit more on it. Okay. Yep. This is the book of Matthew 16 and verse 26. But what is it a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul?
What shall a man give for an exchange? That's why, you know, brothers, we are rich. You know, we're brothers are rich in temperance, high self-esteem, you know, great moral character. You know, and those things are priceless because you can't buy those things. You know, you can't build a strong character. You can, you know.
You can't buy a strong character.
Well, you can't buy a strong character. You know, you can't buy a strong character. You can't buy temperance.
Is that Hebrews?
Romans. Matthew.
Oh, I got a precept to this.
Yeah, bring it out.
This is Hebrews chapter 10, verse. Hold on, bring that out again. I might have messed up.
Oh, it says bring that Matthew's out one more time.
Matthew 16.
Yeah.
It's the book of Matthew chapter 16 and verse 26. But what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul?
That nigga gonna get pulled over and get a ticket tonight. He gonna be hurt.
Faith.
Oh, you said rich and faith. This is Hebrews chapter 10, verse 22. Let us draw near with the true heart and full assurance of faith, having our hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience and our bodies washed with pure water. Let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promise. Because you were talking about how we rich in faith and be rich in morale and all of those things.
Yeah, and the promise are going to go to those who are rich in temperance. You know, get 2 Peter's 1 and 5 up, Bishop. Finish that out there.
And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and unto good, and to provoke unto love and to good works. All right, it says, and let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as ye see the day approaching.
Yeah, so we gotta show, you know, brothers get a little bit of money. You can't be wilding out. You know, that money is meant to be used. When you read the book of Acts, they pull their resources together. You know, because times are going to be going to be hard. You know, let's say a brother get laid off from his job because they start mandating things again. You know, because there was an interview. This Jake was walking around in Myrtle Beach interviewing women. Would you rather have a drug dealer make $10 million or a doctor that makes $600,000? And it was based off of a yearly basis. And everyone said the drug dealer making $10 million because Jake really don't understand how much money $600,000 a year is. Because the average American man, the average Jake man, the black man in America makes $50,000 a year. So if he's providing for his household off of $50,000 a year, maybe the wife does a little bit, you know, then imagine how many households you're taking care of with $600,000 a year. People really don't put things in perspective. You know, people don't see the bigger picture. They just see Lambo, bottles, music, and you know those that lifestyle. Going to the house of feasting, that's the end of all men. Yeah, but that was it on that, right? Let's read this Bible.
Let's get some prophecy too before we close it up. Yeah. You know, whether it's Jacob's trouble, the chip.
Yeah. We'll transition into some prophecies. What about fellas?
Second Peter.
Yeah.
It's the book of 2 Peter chapter 1 and verse 5. It says, in view of all this, make every effort to respond to the Most High's promises. Supplement your faith with a generous provision of moral excellence, and moral excellence with knowledge.
Yeah, just hit time is short. I just want to get into that, but
Get into it. You know,
that's cool. Get Jeremiah 30 and 7. We'll get into some prophecies, but you ain't gotta be warned.
Moral excellence falls in lines of prophecy too, because you have to have moral excellence to receive salvation. Which is why I said, what manner of conversation ought you to be in? What should be the state of your integrity and your morale in these times we're living in? You know, we're not supposed to be wicked. We're supposed to be righteous and seeking the Lord, and giving effort to be found without spot and blameless.
That's right.
It's the book of Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
Yeah, what day is that talking about? The day that since the apostles and elders came on the scene, since we've been out here, you know, all these years we've been warning about a time like none other where this society is going to collapse. Everything that people are working for and trying to hold on to, you know, is really it's a scam. It's a farce. Esau Edom really, he don't care about these things. You know, he don't care if you got him. All he really cares about his NWO really being established, because I was watching this clip. You had a billionaire, he invited people over to his house, and he selected people that were vegans, that were all these things, and he said, what would you do? Would you eat this meat, you know, for $1,000? No, I wouldn't. What about $10,000? No, I wouldn't eat it. What about $100,000? Because that shows you the wealth gap that these elites have. They're able to fulfill their will down here upon the earth. So the only thing we can cleave to as the children of Israel is a higher power. And that higher power is able to defeat this man. Esau Edom is able to be defeated by Yahweh by Shemal Shai. So when this day of trouble comes, it's our desire of the wicked to bring these troubles to pass. You know, get Psalm 64. You know, it's a desire of the wicked to bring these evil devices to pass to oppress the children of the Most High, right? Because the king's heart is in the hands of the Lord, right? But Esau Edom is what he really wants deep down. He's happy that the Most High is using him, you know? But he thinks he's going to be able to subvert the Most High's authority, just like he's been able to fool so many people.
Remember what Esau said, when the days of mourning for his father is in hand, then say he slay his brother Jacob.
Yep. So here, it was always in his mind.
Yep.
You know, after we get done mourning for our fort, you know,
right.
He was getting old, you know, blind.
Yep.
You know, so, you know, it was that time of we got to spend our last days with him.
Right.
You know?
And also, real fast, you got to remember, the Rothschilds, you know, yeah, they're you know, the story of the father goes in and tells him, you got to go to this country and start a bank, this, that, and the third. That was only half of what his father told him. You best believe he was telling you got to kill these niggas and snakes.
Oh, yeah, we get the whole council.
Not let them find out certain information.
Yeah.
Not let them know certain history.
Yeah.
Do not let them get a seat at the table.
Yeah, all these rituals. Where did they learn that from? It's passed down from father to son, father generation. It's been passed down.
Yep.
For decades, for centuries.
Yeah, them elites know, like, hey, look, these group of people right here is our enemy, and we cannot let them wake up.
Yeah, because a lot of these TV shows have gotten really dark lately. You know, they'll show you the secret society.
Oh yeah.
You know, amongst them, they'll show you, oh, this black person, somehow they made it, somehow they got accepted, but then they really got accepted to be a sacrifice. You know, really, you got accepted for us to make fun of you and bully you while you're so we don't get bored.
Real fast. You know, you think about what Charleston White said. It was so fucking funny, but it was true. He was talking about MLK, and he was like, he said, wanting to eat at these white folks' establishments was the worst thing you can do. He was like, why would you want to eat there and they don't season their food?
Right. Right.
That's how I don't like that.
I don't like him either. He's funny as shit, though. So that demon hop on him, he get all hype.
I can't watch him for more than 2 minutes, bro. I ain't never watched one of his interviews.
Yeah? I
can't watch it. Everybody got their own sense of humor.
Yeah.
That nigga ain't funny.
Yeah, he's funny as shit.
He a cornball. I don't like that cornball funniness.
Of course, but then that cornballness, he's sincere about a lot of shit he say.
He be talking mad shit to the two-thirds. He be coming at the... He be disrespectful.
That's the modern day Uncle Ruckus. That's Uncle Ruckus in the play. That nigga that's Uncle Ruckus.
I ain't over that.
That's
wow.
Him. That's him, bro.
Wow, yeah.
That's crazy.
That's where I'm on that nigga. I can't do Uncle Ruckus.
They still made the Boondocks. He definitely would be a character. For sure.
He already... That's the spirit.
Hey.
That's the spirit of that guy. But let's get this in song.
This is Psalm chapter 64. Hear my voice, O Yahweh, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked.
Yeah, the secret counsel of the wicked is to bring a day of trouble upon our people. You know, to come after the truth. You know, but a lot of our people are going to be collateral damage because really Esau Edom, he's looking like, damn, that transatlantic slave trade, that wasn't that smart. I should have kept the Northern Kingdom here. You know, and the Americans, I should have went out and conquered those lands and, you know, first, and then just kept their asses here. And then I could have just came and slaughtered this whole island. He really be thinking about how he could have won already. Because Jake, we think about stuff like that. If I would have locked in during this season of my life, I'll be here right now. So that's how Esau thinks. He has a lot of regret. And he's seeing his technology, and that's why you keep seeing these Mag 7 companies pump, because these Mag 7 companies, the Magnificent 7, that's what they call them, you know, the Apple, the Google, the Microsoft, the Amazon, you know, the NVIDIA, the Tesla, all these companies play a role in the NWO system. You know, the biometrics, the war, you know, all these things he's gearing up for. And that's why he's seeing these companies come out like, oh, this technology is getting even better. Even since 2020. Even 2020 to now, the technology, the AI, you know, all the data that is collected, the self-driving cars, and now they want self-driving aircrafts. You know, autonomous aircrafts. And the Lord will say the Lord let him get it. But the Lord is allowing this man's blessing to increase to the point where he's going to get full control. And we're August 13th, you know, these platforms are going to start making you upload your ID, and we'll see if they do it, right?
It's coming eventually, for sure.
Yeah, we'll see if you know, when you log in on the 13th, you know, because sometimes, you know, we'll see. I'm very curious, you know, but hey,
we know it's coming.
We know that kind of energy is coming, and what comes with that? Restrictions, you know, a big brother coming into your house, Minority Report type of spirit, which we're already in the beginning stages of that world being built. Facial recognition. You know, that's why the Lord said, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, because everybody's on the grid. We upload videos that when we go on the internet, you have an IP address that can be hacked back to you. When we go live, people can hack our IP, find out exactly where we are.
They know where we are right now. He know exactly who he is from the facial recognition. Our faces is on the internet, on these videos. They know who you are. They know who you be teaching at.
Hey, Craig from Friday said it, right? About Big Worm. He know where your mama stay. He know where my mama stay.
Once so you know who you is, you tap into your social shit. It's over.
He know everything. Your woman, your kids,
everything.
Whoever you have conversations with,
jobs.
That's why it's part of the credit report, because talking about Tesla, Elon, he his for himself automated cars. He wanted to get people with a good driving record. So now it's a social credit system.
Yep.
And that's really what we're getting into, a social credit score.
Hey, bro, you blocking the sign too.
You know, now people who are criminals, remember, they gotta leave this country.
Yep.
You know, U.S. citizen or not, social credit system.
Yep.
Okay,
Hi, Psalm 64 verse 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked.
And it's a secret because up front he's pushing that these things are going to be good for everybody.
Right.
But secretly, he's looking at the way to overthrow, Jacob. From getting us off of his hill. Because we got him. We got him on this hill. He can't go anywhere.
Yep.
Grappling. Jacob knew how to grapple. You wrestle an angel, you're a mighty warrior.
Yep.
That's why I was meditating with 2/3 of our people are going to lose. Day of the circumcision, you can't. Esau Edom was more subtle than any beast of the field. You can't go to him like a brute beast.
Right.
He already on animal mode.
He's very subtle. I was watching a video. Snakes, they came and attack. Snakes be in the trees. They wait for you to walk, then they just pounce on you. You walk up on the snake. And people are marching to the NWO. They don't even know they're on that gate, and that's the time that we're coming into.
Esau Edom, he's so much of an animal. He willing to sacrifice his own. He'll call his own. It costs to be the boss. They'll sacrifice their own people to hit a certain.
Yeah, that's why they call them sharks.
Yeah,
I'm a shark.
Yeah, they don't care.
The sharks will eat their
They're eating alive, man.
They'll eat each other as a womb. Everyone hatches will eat the other eggs, I believe, right? Esau Edom, he's a high level, he's a beast.
A high level beast, and he already there. I was talking to this older Jake some time back. He was he Jake in the world, and he said, he'd be like, man, these niggas and these young boys ain't ready for war. He said these crackers ready to kill you today. They want to kill you now, and they willing to lose their own. They willing to go to war. They want to go to war. They want to kill you. He said you niggas ain't ready. He said you young niggas ain't ready for war.
Nope.
Y'all ain't ready to die. He said that white man ready to die. He ready to go for it. Yep. From the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Verse 2. Psalm 64. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words.
Yep. And they're getting laws in order, in place, to make a man an offender for a word. You know, they're sharpening. To wet means to sharpen, so their tongues is used as a weapon. Their media, you know, the pictures that they paint. Because, and what was that? What the hell just happened? It looked like a nigga. There'll be so many news and prophecies videos going out. It was a Jake. I forget what he had did. Damn. He looked just like he could be in the can.
Oh yeah, he went and deleted those 5 people and then turned around and shot himself.
But then,
in New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
He was a football player.
Yeah.
That was
he said he was doing for CTE and some other stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. That was the thing that happened in Manhattan like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember. I didn't know what the guy looked like. I thought the dude looked like a heathen though. That guy. But no, yeah.
Yeah, nah.
Okay, yeah. So yeah. Oh, didn't they say he drove from like California to New York?
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's exactly. You know. Shit, he probably could have been on death row. You know what I mean? Who fucking knows, man? I don't fucking know. A lot of these people could be made up. You know what I mean? So much news. A lot of stuff is, you know, Esau has some things are organic for sure, but then some things Esau puts in motion.
Yeah, like up north. Y'all remember that shooting at Tops in Buffalo?
Yeah, Buffalo, New York.
It was a young boy that drove from, I forgot exactly how far away. Young boy, and he did that. You know, he could have been told to do that.
Whatever happened to him?
Right. You know, hey, and some of those Edomites that be doing those mass shootings, you might think they're in prison, but they might be put up somewhere. They might say, we gonna put you here in this facility for a little while so you can lay low. And then once people forget about you, you know, put you in an island or relocate you in a whole other country.
Or just believe in that.
Or just delete them.
That's how cutthroat Esau even is, really.
Right. Yeah, that's that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not.
Yeah, that they may shoot. So the perfect are they of the house of the faith. So secretly they're passing these things, man. Secretly, okay, why do we need self-driving cars? You know, because they're trying to introduce technology in a way to make it be good.
Convenient.
Because really, a lot of these companies, Elon, you telling me Tesla is one of the biggest companies in the world, but they sell cars? No, they're an AI company, right? You know, they do more than just sell cars. You know, but you get under the umbrella, and then what? They have the Space Force. You know, he has a Starlink. You know,
Twitter.
You know, X. Yeah, Twitter X. And then what? You have Instagram, Facebook.
Man, one put it for a game.
All these.
Your Tesla connected to a lot.
Yeah, Elon's connected to a lot.
Including the connected to the government itself, to the president.
And then Meta, you know, Meta is they want to create avatars for everyone. So no longer we have social media influencers that are real people. No, your HR and your HR department is going to be a AI robot. It's going to be an AI artificial intelligence. That's the level they're trying to get people on, fully embedded. And then if you have a problem with the system, you have there. You seen the movie Minority Report? You know, pre-crime. All these things. They have this movie called the anime called Psychopaths. That's the world Esau wants, and Jake is not invited. Prophets, Yahweh Shemel and Shai, these things are not invited. Why do you take these pills? Well, AI told me to. You know, that's the energy he wants to move towards. But he's not going to be able to fulfill his belly. Get that? You got precept for you bring out?
I just checked
Yeah,
2:11.
that.
Now, this is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 2 and verse 11. He's Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
That's right. So avoid the risk of Satan, your adversary, taking advantage of you, because that's what he's ultimately trying to do. Esau Edom is an opportunist. He's trying to take advantage of your situation, of you living paycheck to paycheck, of you eating a bad food, you being completely dependent on his system, right? That's why we are not really dependent on this system like you really think we are. When I go to a job interview, I might talk, eloquent or whatever. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Go get in character.
Yeah, get in character. But when I leave there, I'm sending up some prayers. I send up prayers before and after. See, Lord, this job is a good fit. Let me get it. Read that again.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 2 and verse 11. Least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
Another fire.
Sometimes that can be unnecessary. Losing that one kind of prayer. Like this little curses.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 2 and verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
We are not ignorant of his devices. Wisdom has put us in the know of what his plans are, what the secret counsel of the wicked is. When you read about Elisha, he was given plan. He was telling, you had the Assyrian king of Assyria, he said, how is it that is there a spy amongst us? Who is working for our enemies? He said, no, you have the man of God in Israel that's telling the secrets. He's telling what you do in your bedchambers. Because the elites in these times, they watch our videos and they say, damn, how did they know we were going to plan to do this? How did they know that that's exactly what our next move was? So it makes them, a lot of times makes them pivot. So we've been given power to know what this man's plans are.
Yep. We're told to watch. You see it coming,
That's
Because
right.
he tells us to be watching and watch as well as pray. Because we got eyes to see, ears, we got eyes to see and ears to hear, and we're not in the spirit of slumber, and we can see the things that they're doing and the things that they have planned. And Agenda 2030 is not that far away. That's only 4.5. Shit.
We're halfway there.
Yeah, we halfway there. 3.5 years away.
From 2020 to now, we're halfway there. Once 2025 hit, we're on the latter end of this decade.
Yeah.
Now it's the countdown. And then the crazy thing is, Trump is out in 2029. So,
Yeah, right.
So what's going to happen?
They're going to try to have this fulfilled probably before he even get out.
Exactly.
And I read an article that came out almost 10 years ago on Forbes, and it was talking about transhumanism and what they plan on doing by 2030. And we already see
where we're at now. We're really at the start of it.
Yeah.
But it's gonna happen quick because Esau Edom already has a lot of this technology ready. He just has to roll it out. Read this, Rebecca.
Well, it's the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, and verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved.
Keep going.
It says, it's the book of Habakkuk 2.
You got your Bible right there, right? Your eyes hurting or something?
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Now I was told to Jeremiah 37.
Yeah, read it. Read out your sword, bro.
Okay,
that phone that's dead right now.
Okay.
You got multiple fingers. That phone should get more. But the Lord told us to stand upon our watch, you know, and that's what we as the prophets of the Lord are doing. While everyone else is trying to become Israelite celebrities, trying to come with a new doctrine, which is really an old doctrine, right? Trying to push their own agenda to the forefront. You know, we sound like a broken record up here. That's why people get tired. People endure for a little bit and then they push on. You know? Because people get tired of hearing the same thing over and over again. But when is it going to happen? That's why brothers' wives leave them. You know? You've been saying this for years. Family members think you crazy. The Lord said, though it tarry, wait for it. Read verse 10.
Hey, you'll hear people say, I'm tired of waiting. You know?
You get tired.
It say, blessed are them that wait. And people say, I'm tired of waiting. And some of us brothers, we didn't heard our women say they tired of waiting. Or I'm tired of hearing have patience. You know?
Because really, when you got a power source like Yahweh Shema Shai, it's never ending. You know? The Lord is always going to pour into that cup, you know, to where you can have energy. You know, and then they don't want to, because, you know, we pour into our family members' cups, you know, our loved ones, children, but a lot of them reject it. You know, they want to drink of the cup of the world. And then that's when the bitterness comes. You see?
It's the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 2. And the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it.
Write the vision, you see, and make it plain. So you write the vision, you write what you saw, right, via these epistles, right, that these words have been already written for us. So the vision has been revealed. The vision has been written, and those back in the ancient times, when you would give a king a letter, you know, a king would have to have a message. You would have a postman, you know, run and to deliver the message, that he may run that readeth it, right, and to deliver the message. So we have written, the vision has been written, it's been revealed, right? It says, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, meaning make it very easy to be understand, right? Ugly ass nigga. Keep reading, bro.
Habakkuk 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time.
He's shaking it right now in his skin. He all nervous. Chill, bro. Just get out of the car. It's a lovely day out here. All negative energy. This woman not gonna sleep with him tonight. Horrible night for him. She gonna spend money on. She gonna go straight to sleep. Turn over.
Then she gonna call Jamal.
She gonna call Jamal when he gonna work tomorrow. Monday. Go ahead, bro.
It's the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry.
So though it tarry, wait for it. The vision is speaking loud and clear. Get your head out your ass. You know, if you're the woe is me spirit, you need to go hit the gym, man. Woe is me, go for a run.
Fast.
You need to fast. You need to do something. It ain't that hard yet. It really ain't that hard. You know, you still get to pick what you want to eat when you go. You on a budget, but you still get to pick what you want to eat. You know, what does there really be sad about? The world is ending. You know, we are very happy, right? This world is ending. Jacob is the end of the world. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is the end of the world. You know, we about to see the end of 2/3. You know, but the beginning of righteousness is right around the corner. So with that, we're gonna close out. It's been another beautiful weekend, preaching, prophesying, the downfall and total destruction of Babylon the Great, which is America, according to the Holy Scriptures. Once we close out, we give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Kakunash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings of the nation of Israel. Next time we say Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.
Wow.
Charge the piece on the floor.
Huh?
I guess you messed up your charge.
Oh.
Charges cheap.